Welcome, everybody, to the U16 pod. I'm Ryan MacArthur.
And I'm Connor Williams, and welcome back to a very special episode of the U16 pod. And this is a big episode. It's been a couple weeks now. It's been a bit since we released our last episode, and I think, Ryan, for good reason here. We had a big weekend a couple weeks ago now with the Silver Stick happening. I mean, it was a massive weekend. Tons of preparation before and tons of things going on after with us preparing for this episode, trying to get in contact with players we were looking to have on. And great tournaments. So many players at such great tournaments. It was so tough to choose teams and which players to have on from which teams. And we're splitting this one up into two parts, Ryan. Part one, this will be part one. There'll be a part two released in the coming days after this one. So definitely we have 8 player interviews set to release.
Yeah.
4 will be this episode, 4 the next episode. They were all phenomenal interviews. So honestly, we're so pumped to have these interviews put out and just go kind of recap the Silver Stick and talk about kind of who had great Silver Sticks, who kind of stood out for us, and all that fun stuff. Because Ryan, it was a phenomenal weekend, eh?
Oh, it was awesome. And I mean, we've been busy this last little bit, and so are the players, right? They've got very, very busy schedules. So getting 8 interviews, it took a bit, and we got it all lined up here. But that Silver Stick, unbelievable tournament. And the town of Whitby, the Whitby Wildcats, got to thank them so much for the hospitality. They did a great job. It can't be easy to organize a tournament like this during these times. So, no, I just want to thank them, right?
No, absolutely. Just the amount of work they put in from the screening to the kind of the process of making sure everything ran smoothly, just phenomenal. And honestly, just a massive congratulations to every team that took part in that tournament. Everyone put their best effort out there. Everyone played hard. And honestly, and like every tournament, there can only be one winner. And congratulations to the Toronto Junior Canadiens. They're now 2 for 2 in tournaments this season. They won the Markham one back in October, and now they took the Silver Stick one again. And they're just on a roll. We saw them, the OHL released their first and second OHL Cup rankings, and they're up top, and for good reason. They've shown why they deserve to be at that top spot. They've taken all the big games so far this season. They've won the 2 tournaments. So just once again, congrats to Toronto Junior Canadiens. Congrats to the Mississauga Senators as well for making to that final. It was a tough final watching it there, and honestly, it was a phenomenal kind of tournament here. But we don't want to ramble on too much. We kind of want to jump into it. We're splitting it, like I mentioned earlier, we're splitting this one up. So we're going to start off. We're going to cover sort of 3 groups here from the Silver Stick, various players we like there. And then the next episode, we'll be sure to cover more players and more groups and get into that. So stay tuned for that one. Just if you don't hear your name here, you might be there as well. We don't want to ramble on too much because those interviews, Ryan, honestly, I don't want to spoil it too much, but they were phenomenal.
Yeah.
Tremendous conversations. So honestly, you want those to really be the big stars of this. With those players, the phenomenal players who came on. So, Ryan, let's just get into the groups here, right?
Yeah. No, like not to put let's just say for these ones, it was a lot of fun because, I mean, we have a huge tournament to talk about, a lot of memorable moments for us and the players. So, like, this is great. Like getting into like a Silver Stick recap. It's unbelievable that we get to do this. Like last year, the interviews were unbelievable. We met a lot of great people, but we were limited with what we could talk about, right? We were talking about practice and this and that. So it's nice to have like a tournament, like a really good tournament like this to chat about. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. So yeah, let's jump into the meat and potatoes here.
Yeah. So we're gonna start with Group 3, right, Ryan? With honestly, with one of the toughest groups that was in the Silver Stick. Honestly, the winner of that group ended up being the Quinte Red Devils, but it was not an easy group for them to win. They tied a couple games, they won a couple games, but it's certainly, honestly, there ended up being a tie for first, and it came down to, like we talked about before when we were previewing the Silver Stick, it came down to them in London, and Quinte won 1-0 on that Thursday night, and I know you were at that game that Thursday night, and it was phenomenal, eh?
It was great. Like, yeah, and we called it too. We knew that it was going to come to that, and when Quinte won 1-0, like it basically put themselves in the driver's seat in that group. Made it tough to come back. Even with 2 ties, they still pulled out the tiebreaker there on the head-to-head with London. But that game was great. I would say overall, both teams were playing very safe. It was interesting. It was kind of a bit of a chess game. No one wanted to make any mistakes. Really, really high pressure game, but like it was a battle. Like all three zones, like every puck was just hotly contested, and it was it was an absolute war. But yeah, they did play fairly safe. Like and I don't blame them. Like the stakes were high. That was a big game, so it was great. It was awesome to watch.
That's a tough one too, to open up your silver stick with kind of
Yeah,
that kind of a magnitude of a game. It's your first game. The first games of tournaments are always kind of tough ones too, because you've got that nervousness, kind of that nervous energy in your group where it's, you want to start strong, but it's like, hey, we're at the silver stick. We got all these there's scouts here.
scouts everywhere.
The arena's packed. It's like you got this kind of nervous energy going. You're like nervous but excitement at the same time. It's like that first game can always be a tough one, eh?
Yeah, and like before we even jump into the teams here, we're gonna jump into in detail on these teams, and we'll start with Quinte and London, obviously top teams in the group. But before we get into that, like talk about the star power that was there. I mean, Bob McKenzie, Darren Dreger, Craig Button, big names like they're there, and I mean, wall to wall scouts, like in the corners, like in the warm areas, like they're just like every little nook and cranny of the arena's got a scout somewhere, right? There's like 40 scouts watching every game. It's just unbelievable. So
Yeah, every pane of glass had someone standing on it. Everyone was
yeah,
trying to find a spot. It was unbelievable. But like you mentioned, we'll jump into these
yeah,
first two couple of teams here. We'll start with Quinte. I'll start off first here because honestly, it was my first time watching Quinte, and you've seen them a bunch before. I had gone them, but when I was watching, it was honestly you told me about them how they're kind of their offense starts with their defense and their strong goaltending, and how the defense really starts and drives the play upwards, and that was on point. Just with Ben Danford, Braden Rogers are the first two players who stood out for me on defense. I mean, the way they play slightly different games, but their mobility between the two of them is just phenomenal. Danford, please, kind of a simple, doesn't overcomplicate things, makes the right play a lot of the time. He can move the puck up ice, but he's also got a bit of aggressiveness that he brings when the time presents itself, when the situation presents itself. But then Rogers, man, I heard you talk about him a lot. You were telling me a lot about this kid, and I was like, man, I can't wait to see Braden Rogers and his skating, his smooth skating ability, his edges, the way he transitions, it's just phenomenal. And those two on defense, I think if I'm remembering correctly, they played him together on defense,
yeah.
which my goodness, that what an ideal puck moving mobile defensive pair, eh?
Yeah, no, they're really like they're unbelievable to watch together, and they play together as a pair, and they also are that first power play.
Yeah.
So they also go up there, so they get a lot of ice, and they're great. Like I mean, Rogers, like you mentioned, smooth skater, smooth operator, like um, great feet, unbelievable feet, super quick, awesome edges. He flies, and Danford just he's also a great skater. I mean, does the spinoramas. He does those hard turns to lose checkers. If someone's on him, he'll just do a dig into the ice and just rip out the other way, and it's like the guy's lost, right? Like
Yeah.
he gets that space. He always these two are the kings of making space for themselves and to make plays, and they're an unbelievable defense pair. Like they rival like it could be the best defense pair in all of U16 hockey. Definitely the best defense pair in OMHA. But I mean that's a debate that we might not want to get into.
We'll
But they're
save that
pretty
for another
close.
day, eh?
Yeah, but I mean you gotta say like I mean like if they're not the best, they're close. Like
Yeah.
they're really really good as a pair and um yeah, Danford's good. Like Danford's got that big shot. He's got the big clap bomb. Like I put a video up a while ago on our Instagram with Danford, so check that one out. Like he's the king of shots from the point. That wrister is it's like a laser beam, and Braden Rogers in his own right can rip the puck too. Great shot release. Like, they're just an excellent defense pair. Great vision, both good passers, see the ice well, and they play well together, right?
Exactly. And to your point, we talk about the moving up ice from their own end, but from
Yeah.
the on the offensive line, they just create so much with their vision and the way they're able to create seams and lanes with their vision and their mobility there. So honestly, it's a treat watching those two, and Quinny's so lucky to have those two at the back end specifically. But I mean, in addition to those two guys, you got Ethan Toms, who, I mean, for me, the biggest thing with him is his two-way game and the way he plays Kind of he's a strong guy down low, and he's tough to knock off the puck. I watched him he's got the finesse too, which I loved. Watched him. I think we were watching the same game, that one game where they played the Red Wings, and he made a phenomenal saucer pass, and it was just wow. But what I love most about him is his hockey sense and his IQ, and the way he plays everywhere on the ice. He puts himself in the right spots where he can get himself in open space and make a play, but also he's there defensively. He knows where to go defensively. Got a good stick, puts himself in good positions on the ice. It was a treat, honestly, getting to watch him for the first time that weekend.
Yeah, no, he's unbelievable. Like I've mentioned before, like I think he's got probably the best puck skills in the draft. Really, really good stick. Wins a lot of draws. Like he probably wins 75% of his draws. So he's taken all the key draws for Quinte. And we mentioned Danford and Rogers before. Tom's is on that top power play unit with them like every time. He gets a lot of power play time, and for good reason, right? He's really good with the puck, really sure of himself. He's got a cannon of a shot that he can rip. And just an unbelievable player, like really fun to watch. You mentioned the finesse, like those sauce passes. He can do those like forehand, backhand. Great with the puck. Like I was at the OMHA showcase, and he was coming into the zone, and he ripped a pass. It might have been one of the hardest passes I've seen all year. And it was like right on the tape, and it was like the player took it perfectly. I can't remember who the pass was to, but it was a hard pass. It's like he's got that, like he can get there quick. He can finesse it. He's got that vision, and the timing and accuracy of those passes is awesome. So he's a great player. We've mentioned him a lot before. We've had him on, so I won't go on and on about him. But to keep going through this Quinte team, I mean, I think the theme with Quinte right now is team defense.
Yeah,
The
I
team
agree.
overall is unbelievable defensively, and like I mean, we'll get more into some more players here because there's a lot of them, and these other players also contribute to the team defense. But like looking at their goalies, like Mike McIvor, we have him. He only let in one goal in the tournament, 0.5 goals against average with a shutout there. Like we ended up having him on the interviews, so that we'll talk about him a bit later in the show. But also Glenn McInnes, like he's another really, really good goalie. Like they're two-headed monster of McIvor and McInnes. Like I don't know if you like you've seen them. Like that's kind of where the defense starts for them, right?
No, it does. It starts because honestly, watching McInnes is a big goalie too. He covers a lot of the net. He moves well.
Yeah.
I saw him. He came up big in that 8 overtime game at quarterfinal against Ajax. I mean, tough. It was tough no matter which way it was going to go for either team. But he was phenomenal in the game. I watched him a bunch of times. He moves well, big size, positionally well. So honestly, you're right. Just having those two back there, plus the defense, it just sets them up so well defensively, where they don't got to get. The thing I think of is when you're playing Quinte, if you give up more than, let's say, 2-3 goals, man, that's a tough one to pull out. Like because you got to beat the defense, and then you got to beat McIvor or McInnes, whoever's in net that given night, which is a tough task in and of itself. So honestly, those two guys are incredible in net, I gotta say. But I know there's another couple defense we wanted to mention here, especially Carson Campbell and Reed G. My
Yeah.
goodness, I know they might not get the same sort of levels of attention as Rogers or Danford, but these two players are really great in their own right, Ryan. I mean, both of them just honestly just really great defensemen, which I love, who I really was pleasantly surprised by in my first time seeing them, Ryan.
Yeah, the more I watch Carson Campbell, the more I like he's a great skater. He moves well. I think his skating is like probably his biggest strength.
Yeah.
So like he's always in position, always in the right spot, and good active stick. He's a good player. But out of those two, I gotta say Reed G. He's becoming one of my favorite players in U16 AAA hockey. Reed G is a beast. Like he just smokes guys, huge hits. Like it's one of those guys where it's like painful to watch when he hits people. I think he's probably the hardest hitter like in the whole loop. Like I don't know. Like, there could be some guys that are close, but I don't know if there's anyone that hits harder than Reed G. Open ice against the boards, he's a nightmare. Like I wouldn't want to be playing against him. I'd be scared. I mean, I'm sure everyone, like a lot of other people, like are aware of when he's on the ice. Like he's just big and strong and powerful, skates well. He he rushes the puck a lot and gets a lot of zone entries, controlled zone entries. Good passer, good stick, good hard passes, good everything's hard, everything like the heavy lean on his stick, super tough below the dots. Just an absolute disaster to try to cycle the puck on because he's just going to knock you over and take the puck and that, right?
No, honestly, you said it perfectly there. I don't know if I could say it any better because you just put the words perfectly there where it hurts watching him hit guys. So I can't say anything, I can't say it any better than what you just said. So just another couple players from Quinte as well who had looked to have solid tournaments as well. Beckett Ewert, yeah, I believe he led the team in scoring there in Whitby. So Beckett Ewert had a really solid tournament there for them.
Yeah, he tied with Tom's for first in scoring, yeah.
Yeah, so really strong turn from him. I know in the eight overtime game, Rude, apologies if I pronounce this wrong. Number 65, Rugenhill.
Tough one.
He came out a bunch. He was getting a lot of shifts there. He's a big body. He's really tough to knock off the puck. So he creates offense using his body and really using his size and strength to his advantage out there. So just a couple more guys there from Quinte who I thought were great players. But Ryan, let's get into next.
Yeah, no, let me just a couple more actually. Like the
Oh,
whole
yeah,
team is good.
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I like Thomas Kuipers. Like he's a solid player. Like he's been growing on me the more I watch. And I mean, yeah, like Liam Phillip works hard. Brody Partridge, another one. But just like overall, like this whole team is like we could basically say every name on the list, but those are a couple more that have been just they're hardworking players, man, and like it shows in their team defense. Like everyone, no missed assignments on Quinte, right? They're a tough team to beat. Like if you want to beat Quinte, you got to play an honest game because they're going to keep you honest, right?
No, absolutely. So if honestly, we covered a lot of Quinte there. So we'll jump into London here now, who finished essentially tied with Quinte and had the tough loss on the Thursday, but London's still a tough team and they've been one of the top teams, I guess. And I mean, it's tough not to start with one of their top players, '07 Ryan Rubrick. Watching him live for the first time, just unreal shot, just the scoring ability he has, with that shot he has, and the other '07 too, Ethan Weir. Just it's unbelievable to have two '07s who are so impactful. I watched Ethan Weir get in alone on a breakaway against the Red Wings and finish with a silky smooth finish, and I was like, wow. I was just blown away by these two '07s watching them. Just honestly, tremendous players in of himself, and it's honestly can't wait for the '07 group to start next year when they get to play, I guess, in their own age group. Depending on what happens here, man.
There's some good ones on the '07 group too. Like so that London team next year is unbelievable. Like it's crazy that, I mean, this isn't the only team with '07s that led their team in scoring. Like Robrook and Weir, they led the London Junior Knights in scoring in this tournament. And we've mentioned this before. This is a big theme. Like '07s is a big thing. Like high end '07s, I should say, because like the top two scorers in the tournament were Michael Misa and
William Moore.
William Moore. Yeah. So like '07s, high impact '07s is a big theme, and Robrook just flying out there. Great skater, great movement, great handles with the puck, angles, and that shot is nice too. And Ethan Weir is smooth, like really good skater, nice stride length, big long strides, generates lots of speed, gets up to speed quick, really quickly. He gets up to that top speed, right? So both are just excellent skaters first and foremost, and just and just zipping around the ice, right?
No, absolutely, and we'll jump into some of the '06s because it is their draft year. So as fun as it is to talk about some of those '07s, I'd be remiss if I didn't start off with one of my favorite players who I've been watching. I got the chance to see is Roden McConnell Barker.
Yeah.
If the last name sounds familiar, he is related to Bryce McConnell Barker, third overall pick in the 2020 OHL draft to the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. And Roden McConnell Barker, he's a versatile player. He can play forward in defense, but I know London's been having him on defense a lot of this season. And he was playing defense in the games I saw. And my goodness, his skating is unbelievable. Just his foot speed in and of itself, but his lateral quickness creates so much for him. His ability to see the open ice and then just pounce on it and take advantage of it, which then creates more time and space for him, where he gets those controlled zone entries as a defenseman, and he's able to find his teammates, set him up with his speed and his movement, Ryan.
Yeah, McConnell Barker is really, really good defenseman. Yeah, in the summer he was playing a bit of forward, but he's been a defenseman so far this year with London, and yeah, like that great skating defenseman. Like you mentioned the lateral movement, it's really, really key to his game. It's really tough to beat him off the rush.
Yep.
Forwards, backwards, he's got good speed, good control over his body, his stability and balance. He's always like well balanced. You never see him kind of wobble or anything. He's in control. He's fast and quick, and those quick feet. Like he's really tough. Whether it's like defensively or offensively, and like he's got skill too. Like don't sleep on his offensive game. He can finish, just like his brother Bryce, right?
Yeah.
Like he comes by it honestly. Probably played a little bit of mini sticks with his big bro and learned a few tricks because I saw his goal in the tournament. It was a nice goal. He buried one, kind of like nice quick stick movement and then a quick shot, nice shot release. Really good player, yeah.
No, absolutely. I'll mention another player I think we both enjoy a lot is Jet Lachenko,
Yeah.
who's another player who's just the energy he brings on the ice, Ryan. Every time I see him, he just go, go, go. Just kind of making an impact all over the ice, man.
Yeah, no, he's unbelievable. Like Luchenko is very elusive, I would say. Really, really tough to stop, tough to kind of get in check because like when he's got the puck, like his dangles, he's got that like excellent range of movement with his body, with his upper body. So he can do like wide dangles. He can put it in your feet and kind of like kind of lose defenders that way. He does all kinds of different stuff. He's really dangerous, really, really shifty, great dangles, great hands, unbelievably skilled. So also he sees the ice well. Like he's a great playmaker, and overall he's really dangerous. Yeah, he didn't have a ton of points in this tournament, but he created a lot of chances for London throughout the tournament, and was really dangerous. Harrison Franson is a forward, taller forward, really, really long stride, good stride power, good skater. Going through the rest of the list here. Who else do we got?
I was impressed with Duncan. I liked in the game I saw the couple guys I liked just with their movement off the puck and putting themselves in good spots. Duncan Thompson and Mason Landry were a couple guys who stood up for me.
Nice.
Creating chances, kind of just getting in there, doing dirty work, but also putting themselves in open areas where they could get the puck and get scoring chances. Those were a couple guys who I liked on London as well in the games.
Yeah, yeah, and I always gotta give show some love to my throwback guys like Gavin McGahee Smith. Like, pay attention when he's on the ice because he's a Mack truck, big hits. I like watching him.
He'll run you over when he gets.
He'll run you over, man. Like, he's tough. So I think that about covers it for London.
Yeah, he's a scary guy too, eh? Off the rock, like if he's got the puck and he's driving on you, oh goodness, that's a scary guy to face coming down on you. So honestly, just London's a dangerous team. They got all kinds of. They got the skill. They got the big boys who can kind of rumble down low in the offensive zone, and they got the finishing ability too with the various guys as well. So London had a great tournament, and honestly, it just came like we mentioned. It was really close between them and Quinte to come out with the group there. So. But we'll jump into the next team here from Group 3, Ryan. Don Mills, the Don Mills Flyers, Ryan. Oh, they tied Quinte. They were in some really close games throughout that Silver Stick there. I've seen them a couple times before the Silver Stick, and now in the Silver Stick. I actually want to start off before we get into players. I want to start off with their goalie, if you don't mind, on Don Mills. Luca.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to start with him because honestly, I love watching this kid play. I want to say he's a character in the crease too. I love his communication. I remember when we talked to Joey Costanzo now with the Niagara Ice Dogs. He's talked, I want to communicate with the boys on the ice and love talking and being a voice out there for the guys out there. And listening to him communicate on the ice. I remember one play where someone sent it down. It was like Russ got his hand up, like icing. And he's yelling, no, no, no. I was like, oh, that's too good. Just
that's awesome.
Little intricacies from his game, but he's a really aggressive goaltender. Challenges in the crease, really moves well laterally. He's got that quickness, and he's got great good reactionary saves. Great glove, doesn't give up much in the crease. And when he's in net, honestly, we saw him as well against the Sens before the Silver Stick. and the Sens were not having a fun time playing against him because you really got it to score on him. You really got to make him move and get that open net like with that puck movement. So DeFelice is becoming one of my favorite goalies in the draft. I've seen him multiple times now, and he had a phenomenal silver stick there. So honestly, just wanted to shout him out first as well. But there's some players I'll let you get into now.
No, that's great. Like Luca DeFelice, like he's the one I like too. I noticed him early. Like he has great gear. Gotta mention that. Like he looks great in there. Like great mask, great pads. Like don't you love
Good, play good.
his setup?
Look good, play good, eh? Look good, play good.
Yeah, like I love his gear. It's like obviously matching with the Don Mills stuff, and he looks good. Like he looks good out there too. He's big, moves well for a big guy, and great lateral movement, great athleticism, and yeah, like you said it perfect. Like he's a force to be reckoned with. The player I really like on Don Mills is Aiden Renault. Um, he's been growing on me a lot. Really, really good defenseman, big, huge hits in the open ice and down low. He's really, really tough, and he's got a great stick. Like on the PK, he was stopping a lot of plays. I know when we were watching that game against the Sens where they kept it close, I believe the floodgates kind of opened in the third period, but Don Mills had a lot of penalties, and Renault was out there killing penalties, playing hard. Really, really good skater and really, really good defenseman. I think he's really solid.
He's really, really smooth skater, great on his edges, and honestly, his stick work is what what keeps standing out to me when I see him too as well. Really able to break up the rush, man. He's a phenomenal defenseman for them, I think, as well.
Yeah, and their top line is tough. They were out there causing a lot of problems. They basically were the biggest scorers on the team. Nathan Games is a
Yeah,
winger. He
I like him
moves
a lot.
well. Yeah, he moves well. He's very athletic, great hands. He looks good out there. Like he
He's got
looks
a
like a
nice
hockey.
release on a shot, eh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's good. He's got a good release. He's really good offensively, dangerous all the time. I mean, Frady we had on the show earlier. Like big shot, big player. Lucas Ty is the center on that line. He wins a lot of draws. Really, really good positionally, high hockey IQ, and great playmaker, like great passer. Really, really good player. So that top line, I think, was really dangerous in the tournament. It kind of like I didn't really pay attention to the points too much, like till now actually, because I but like I was gonna mention that top line, and like they're pretty much at the top of the team here in points. Um, so yeah, that top line. You want to mention anything else about them? You like games too, eh?
Yeah, James is a great player. I really liked watching him play. Along with those guys you mentioned there, another guy. I'll finish off with the forwards here who I liked. Hayden Reed was another player who I kind of liked. I saw him a lot in defensive situations, penalty kill especially. Real reliable guy, kind of gets to his spots positionally. Um, High work ethic. On the PK, he's the first guy in, kind of forcing that play, forcing that defenseman, whoever's first back for the power play, forcing that person to get going 5-on-5. Just after it down low, like dog on a bone. Like you don't want to mess with him down low. Just relentless on the puck with that respect. And then a couple of D I really liked as well. Mason Taylor, Logan Burnham were a couple
Yeah,
D I
that's
liked
what I
as
was gonna
well.
say.
Mason Taylor's a really kind of mobile defenseman as well. A really good defensively, I found just tough to play against down low. Doesn't give up much. Doesn't once you're going against him, he finds a way to win a lot of those puck battles. And then Logan Burnham's another guy who I find he can get the puck up ice efficiently. He's not afraid to be aggressive, carry the puck up ice, and just get the play moving up ice for his team out of the D zone, which is great. So those are a couple of D guys I really wanted to
Yeah,
mention as well, Ryan.
yeah. No, that was the last two that I was gonna mention. Like Daniel Chen is another one that I mean,
Yeah,
like flashes that were good. But yeah, Burnham, Taylor were also good. Taylor got a nod for the GTHL All Star game, right?
yeah, he's
Prospects
made
game.
made
So
the top prospects game, so we're really excited to see him in that game too. So,
yeah,
um, congrats to him, I guess too. So,
yeah,
um, honestly, with that wrapping up Don Mills there, we'll jump into the next team and from Group Three there in the Toronto Red Wings. And honestly, the Toronto Red
oh yeah,
Wings, they didn't see necessarily the success they were looking for, but they were a team that was in every game that they played in, and they were impactful. And my goodness, watching them play, I'd be remiss if I think we'd be remiss if we didn't start off with Tyrone Fevry on their team. My
yeah,
goodness, the strength and power he plays with. I mean, watching him, first of all, down low, going up against him, he is not easy to knock off the puck. He does
No.
not give up the puck easily. But then his strength and his quickness when he skates, once he gets those feet going, you're not stopping him. But then he can stop on a dime. Like watching him move, I was not watching him when you watch him play with his size and strength. You don't expect him necessarily to be able to stop and cut on a dime like he does, but he's able to quickly do that, and he's got the hands and the skill to maintain possession of the puck consistently. And then that shot, man, oh my lord, it's quick. Like it just snaps off his stick. It's just unreal. And standing behind the net, if he misses the net something every so often, gosh, makes you think about flinching
Makes
on
you
some
deaf.
shots. God, you're dodging that shot a whole lot of the time when he's shooting the puck. My goodness, just a phenomenal player he is, Ryan.
Yeah, no, he's great. Like, I mean, you mentioned the body control for someone so fast and so powerful. Like, you don't expect him to have that great body control and balance. And he shows it in a variety of ways. Like,
Yeah,
against Richmond Hill, he got a couple of goals. He coming in flying down wide, and his ability to just kind of cut like on a dime, and then like in full control with the puck and just bury it upstairs. Like everything's like really, really in control, right? Like so, like he's a goal scorer. Let's face it. I mean, he got 4 goals in the tournament. That was the most on the team. Unbelievable goal scorer. Just a great player. And Amari Sellers, when I was watching that Red Wings game, we had him on for an interview before. Gotta love Amari Sellers. Like, great kid, great player. And that game against Richmond Hill, he got a nice one on the power play, kind of sniped and hit it off the top of the shoulder and then up into the top of the net. Really, really good player. Like we love Amari Sellers on the pod, friend of the show. Connor.
I watched him pot his between the legs one, man, and oh
Oh,
my
I mean,
goodness,
yeah,
it was unreal, man. Just I watched him watching
skill.
him come in. I was sitting there with a couple buddies of mine who were also there, and we were like, "Oh, he's pulling this one. He's got it. He's going between the legs in this one," and he did it. And it was it just gets you fired up and going. He's got that quickness, that little hop in his, that little jump in his step when he skates, and he's got those quick hands that are just creates deception. Like he could have easily shot that puck like just normal, but to be able to go between the legs and honestly it creates a different angle for the goalie again with the way the goalie's moving in that situation. But he's got a quick shot as well. And he's always moving in the good spots on the ice as well, which I find. He's got that little quick stick too, where he knocks pucks loose, kind of puts a stick in the lane here and there. Just
Yeah,
a unreal player on the ice, and I love the energy he brings as well. Just a great
yeah,
energy guy as well, man.
yeah. High tempo, extremely skilled, really high hockey IQ. Great passer. He sees the ice well, sees the lanes. He's a complete player, like unbelievable. Um, More guys on the Red Wings. Like this is a pretty good team. Like Kai Henry on defense,
Yeah,
he's solid. He's a good player. Great skater. Great zone exits. Like really, really good defensively. Really, really tough D. Skates with the puck. Doesn't mind hanging on good for a little while if needed, and makes great passes. Great stretch passes. Really smart player. I really like Ty Henry.
no, he's a reliable guy. When you want him in late game situations, when you want him locked down defensively, he's a great reliable guy in those situations. And like you mentioned there, when you need to get the puck out, he can get the puck out with his passing ability. But also, I found he can lay the body too off the rush, and he plays
Yeah.
well off the rush as well. But he's also got the aggressiveness offensively too to jump up, be that extra man on the offensive rush there, or even carry the puck up ice himself. He's not fearless and he's not afraid in that sense of the word to be a stay-at-home D. He's got that little bit of two-way game that you love to see as well from defensemen in that sense of the word, man.
Yeah,
But
you mentioned the physicality. Like, I mean, that comes from like he doesn't have a lot of size, but he's got decent enough size, and but it's more like he gets those big hits from that great balance, like really, really sturdy, like really good on his feet, great feet, right? And really, really like good. I mean, in terms of like that balance, that sturdiness, like really good on his skates, all that stuff. It's awesome to watch him. Um, yeah, there's some other good players on this team. Like I mean, Frank Castiglione is a solid player. Zach Mascard. Those are just a couple more that they just kind of look good. Just good players. Like really good team here.
yeah, and I'll throw in a couple more players too who I liked as well, and then we'll jump into the Richmond Hill Coyotes here. I'll say Mark Zhang and Artem Narbekov are a
Mhm.
couple guys as well who I liked as well. I'll throw in there as well as we transition into the Richmond Hill Coyotes here, Ryan, who I know you got to see a fair bit as well. So I'll let you kind of take the lead here on the Richmond Hill Coyotes.
Yeah, Richmond Hill. Yeah, they're a fun team to watch. Like, the guy I really like on the team, like Danny Tamakos, a smaller center, but he throws his weight around, throws huge hits. I remember in the Silver Stick, I was watching, and he was just like hammering guys. It's just awesome to see him because he's like 5'7", 5'8", and like he plays like he's 6'2". Like he's really really tough out there and throws those big hits and quick, really really fast and great hands, high skill. Nate Bretnell led the team in scoring. He was solid. Julian Rotundo is really, really fast, really strong player. And then the defenseman, David Bitkowski, big, powerful kid, great skater, plays the game right, like really, really tough to play against and mostly like stay at home kind of defenseman that takes care of his own end and that kind of stuff, right? So for Richmond Hill, that's about what I got, I think.
No, and I'll throw in one last player who I thought played a phenomenal game in their final game in the round robin against Quinte, Stephen Amaro, the goaltender.
Oh, yeah.
Phenomenal game from him. Just in that regard,
yeah.
really was making great saves, really moving laterally well in the net there. Great kind of glove in that sense of the word, and just making big time saves, coming up clutch for their team when Quinte was having those chances, and it was a massive part in them ended up tying that game, which not gonna lie, I think it gave Quinte a little bit of got their heart racing a bit as that game progressed. But he was a big part of that tie for them in that respect. But Richmond Hill was a tough team. They're a team to keep an eye on as the season goes on here. So look forward to watching them some more in that regard. But with that being said, we'll jump into the next group we wanted to cover here, Ryan. We'll get into group 6, which actually had the championship team, the Toronto Junior Canadiens. That was another tough group, Ryan. We're covering some tough groups in this part 1 episode here. The JRC and Niagara, that game, which was, I think it was ended up being the final game of the round robin. My goodness, what a back and forth contest. 3-3 tie. Honestly, that's what got Niagara into the quarters. They ended up being a wild card game. Niagara ended up being the wild card team, and JRC ended up facing Vaughan in the quarters. And my goodness, that game was just back and forth. Niagara had the lead for a bit. JRC came back. JRC ended up taking the lead. Then Niagara tied it with a Vermeulen shot on the power play. Just, it was a phenomenal game. Like, how can you not love those kind of games at a tournament as a hockey fan?
Yeah, I was there for that third period,
Yeah, me
and it
too.
was electric. Unbelievable game, like back and forth, kind of. That's pretty much why we do this, right? Like that's why like I fell in love with watching U16 AAA hockey, is games like that and moments like that. It was such a, both teams elevated their game, and it was phenomenal hockey. Like you can't beat that, right? Like unbelievable stuff.
No, you can't. And honestly, let's just jump in it. These are the first 2 teams from the group we're going to cover here. So let's just jump into the JRC. The first 2 guys we're going to list here. We'll start with Porter Martone and Michael Hage. We're going to save those 2 guys because we were lucky enough to get to have them on the pod and talk to them about their championship, the whole tourney and the championship. So we'll save those 2 players specifically till we play their interviews. But since we're skipping those 2, we'll jump into the tournament MVP, actually, Jack Van Volsen. And my goodness, he had a phenomenal tournament, Ryan. He came up big in the championship game. He had a tying goal in the final there. It was a tough bounce for the goaltender there for the Sens, but man, he came up clutch. Little hockey gods were kind of giving them the little extra push there in that final, helping them out here because I know there's a bit of controversy on one goal, but Jack Van Volsen, what a player, Ryan. Holy jeez.
Oh, unbelievable. Great skater, really, really fast. Like I mentioned with some players on this episode already, that long stride and that great skating stride that generates that power. Like those really good skaters, like his skating is so high end, and he's got so much to build on for the future. Like he's so fast and he's got such great form when he's skating. Great feet, great playmaker, awesome shot. He can rip the puck. Highly skilled. Like he's someone that I watched a lot this summer, and I really, really enjoyed watching. Like really fun to watch. Super talented player. Like we mentioned, we're going to leave Porter Martone to later, but like Antonino Tersini, or Antonio, sorry, Tersini. I think I called him Antonino in the last one, but I'm seeing I got that wrong now. But anyway, sorry about that, Antonio. Like really good player. That top line, I mean, they led the team in scoring. Van Bolsen, Martone, and Tersini, right? They've been on fire. Unbelievable line.
Unstoppable.
Yeah.
Unstoppable. My goodness, that line. I mean, stay tuned for Porter Martone's interview because he talks about that chemistry they have, and it's just unreal. I mean, we talk about Van Bolsen there, but Tersini is just a phenomenal player in of himself. He's the center on that line a lot of the great deal of the time. They're kind of interchangeable in the sense of the word, but Tersini is the primary center on that line, and he's got that two-way game where they stick him out against tough teams and tough lines, and he got that finishing ability too, where he puts himself in good spots. He's not afraid to go hang around the net. He finds that little opening space around the net where a loose puck will find him, where he can get a pass there. But he's also got a quick shot and can really finish in around the net in tight, where he just gets it up, roofs the puck a lot. Where when you're in tight, you got to get the puck up against the goalie. When goalies at this point are so good down low, but he's just Tersini's overall game, his all around game is just really impressive, and if that's what he just keeps getting better every time I see him. He just keeps upping his game and making an impact even more. So honestly, look out for that top line, Ryan. Eh?
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, and Tersini, like you mentioned, like worked hard, isn't afraid to get to the dirty areas and to dig pucks out. I think that's part of this line's success is because they all pull their own weight. They all dig the puck, and they all fight for the puck. Like there isn't a designated puck digger kind of on the line. Like they all play hard, and I mean the pressure that they put on the opponents. Oh, it's just like you have no time. You have no time to react, no time to do anything. Basically, like when they're out there, the other line is just trying to ice it, or the defense, they're just trying to get it out, right? Because they're just on fire right now, and we actually asked Porter about the line, so that's going to be fun once they start talking a little more about that. When we get to that interview later in the episode. Michael Hage, like we mentioned, also going to be on later. Interview and analysis coming up later on in the episode. Henry Muse, we can't miss Henry Muse, like unbelievable defenseman, possibly the top defenseman in the draft. Really, really good skater, mobile. I mean, yeah, like he's the real deal. Unbelievable player. We had him on earlier episodes, so if you missed that one, make sure you go back and check it out. But Henry Muse, right, Connor?
First episode of the year. If you missed that one, go check him out. What a player he is. Great kid great person off the ice too. So go check that one if you haven't yet. But honestly, just the mobility he has, his skating, just so smooth, so fluid on his skates with the transitions. He's aggressive. He had the assist. He had the primary assist on that lone goal in their first game against Waterloo, which honestly helped propel them to ultimately help win that group essentially. So honestly, Henry Muse is an unreal player, and we'd be remiss if we did not mention him. So honestly, the mobility, the offensive capabilities he has is just incredible. So Henry Muse is another player we want to keep an eye on as well with that respect. But another D I was actually really impressed with, Ryan, was Anthony Cristoforo, number 44, right shot D. Really? He's just a reliable D who quarterbacks their power play a lot of time. They got Muse and Cristoforo for both their power play units, quarterbacking. Watching Cristoforo quarterback, he's got a really great shot, heavy shot. And he's got a really great clapper as well. But just watching him kind of work the point, use his skating to kind of work around, kind of shift the opposition around, find lanes, open up passing seams and shooting lanes in that regard. But in his own zone, he's just tough. He's physical. He's tough to beat down low. He wins those puck battles, but he also moves the puck ice really well. Makes a great first pass and helps get the defense moving into the offense.
Yeah, definitely. He's a great playmaker. Like I love him on the power play because he just moves the puck so quickly, so efficiently. Like he can skate with it too, and he's good at making an outlet for his teammates. So let's say he's on the power play, he's not stagnant. He's not in one area. He's always moving. He might be over here. He might be over there. Like he can go like I don't know. Like he walks that offensive line and kind of he's smart with where he goes. Like always like there for that outlet if needed. And then when he rips it from the point, like you mentioned, that great shot, unbelievable passer. Like he had 8 assists in the tournament. Really, really high end playmaker, great vision. He sees the seams. He makes passes through bodies, through sticks, through legs, and hits the spot and sets up a lot of goals. Right? Like let's face it. Like 8 assists. That's a lot of assists for this tournament. Like, unbelievable, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's just jumping into other players as well. I mean, Joshua Colosimo is another
Yeah.
player with the speed he has, his skating, it opens up a lot. He's able to burn guys wide, but he's shifty as well. Gets really down, gets low and kind of leverages, wins puck battles in that regard. He's not afraid to drive the net in that regard. I liked him in that game in the
And
tourney rather.
yeah, and he's mean too. Like he's got a physical edge.
Yeah.
He's not like he's a trash talker. Like I mean, not everyone's like that, and not everyone can be like that. I mean, he's a dominant kind of force out there. Like he's intimidating the way he trash talks guys, the way he gets in your face, big hits. Like there's a role for those guys at the next level, those types of players, and I think he kind of fits that like pest kind of like kind of role really, really well. Like, and it adds that edge to his game, and he's also highly skilled, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, in addition to him, another forward there, Jacob Battaglia, who's a bigger player who really gets his MO is a lot of the time getting to that net. He's a player, you'll find him in front of the net a lot of time, gets that rebound goal, kind of causes havoc with this. He's a bigger body, which is great for him when he uses that effectively. He kind of battles down low. He's got kind of a good for his size as well. He's got good range of motion with his stick handling and all that, so he's able to work down low really efficiently as well. But he really kind of just drives the net, makes life difficult for the defense and the opposition when he's using his body. And he's got that nice little finesse too, where he can finish in around the net in tight as well. So Jacob Battaglia is another player I liked watching there, and another player on defense there, Andoni Themis, younger brother of Pano Themis, and
Yeah, nice.
honestly, just watching him play, he doesn't overcomplicate things. He's a simple player, kind of a stay-at-home D, but he moves the puck up ice well. He's got a physical presence. He battles hard down low in his own end. He's kind of not fun to play against. It's a common term, cliche a bit, but like when you're going against him, a lot of the time when I'm watching, he's getting those cross checks in. He's getting kind of using his body, pushing up against the glass. He's turning that puck over, taking the puck away rather. Not he doesn't turn the puck over. He makes the other team turn the puck over,
Yeah.
and then he can get the puck up ice really efficiently. Right?
Yeah, he's good. I mean, Pano's brother, Pano Fitness from the Niagara Ice Dogs, of course, like unbelievable player. But like the more you watch JRC, like the more you and I have both like his game starts to grow on you, right? Like this is one of those teams where like even when you have the notebook out, you're not really writing much down because it's just so much happening that you don't know what to write down because like basically the whole team is good and it's tough for scouts, but like players like this on teams like that, really, really stable, really, really good defensively, like kind of takes care of like his role and like basically like does his role extremely well. Like you start to catch on to that stuff a little later, right? And he's a player that's really grown on me. And I mean, who is another one I was gonna say? Oh, Aiden Russell is a guy I've always liked. Big winger, big hits, big strong player with a big shot. But Paulo Frasca, man, oh,
We
played
do.
all 7 games. I mean, 1.64 goals against average, 2 shutouts, unbelievable goalie. Just he's made some highlight reel saves this year. He's been incredibly fun to watch, and he's been just awesome on having goal for them. Like Carter Frost is another great goalie, but he obviously didn't get action in this tournament. And Paolo, I mean, he stepped up and got her done, right?
Oh, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't just like honestly. There's so much going on with this team, and honestly, I think it can be overlooked sometimes. But Paulo Frasca, my goodness, I don't know how he was still breathing by the end of this tournament with the amount of minutes he played and the amount of games he played. Heck, he played in overtime as well in their quarterfinal game against Vaughn. Like, my goodness, just a phenomenal tournament for him. Honestly, just massive kudos with the way he plays. Just he finds a way to make the big saves in the big moments as well. Watching him play against the Sens, he was coming up big in the championship final, making those big saves. There's breakaways. He had let in a couple goals, but that didn't. Some goalies that might get in their head a bit. Him, no, he bounced back. He was making big save after big save, keeping them in that game, giving them that chance to kind of get back in that game and do what they do best and score more. So honestly, just Paulo Frasca, honestly, huge kudos to him and honestly the JRC with him in that. And when Carter Frost kind of gets back as well, that goalie tandem is going to be unstoppable with them. So honestly, just once again, as we wrap the JRC from Group 6, just once again, congrats to them for winning the silver stick there. But we'll jump into the next team, the Niagara North Stars as well.
Yeah, the Niagara North Stars, unbelievable team. Really, really awesome to watch. Like we mentioned, they had that big game, the last game of the round robin against the JRC, which was awesome. Unfortunately for this episode, we were unable to connect, kind of sync the schedules up worked with a couple of Niagara players to try to work that out, but unfortunately it didn't happen. But that was the one quarterfinal team that we don't have an interview for, but I'm sure we'll get these guys on later.
Absolutely.
Have chats with them. But great team. Like, I mean, in that third period of that game against JRC, that unbelievable third period, Luca Testa had an unbelievable goal, awesome snipe, and also Andrew Vermeulen, like an unbelievable snipe. It was just an electric third period, and those two got highlight reel goals, absolutely gorgeous goals. And I mean, we've mentioned them on the pod before. We love these two players, eh, Connor?
Oh, Testa was just picking corners. Just that shot was unreal.
Yeah.
The offensive talent, offensive upside is unbelievable with Luca Testa. Watching him, just the way it snaps off the stick and then the pinpoint accuracy, like the goalie didn't stand a chance when as soon as the puck left his stick on both his goals in that game against JRC. But he was just unbelievable the entire term, offensively especially. He's been unbelievable in the SETA this season. Unbelievable scoring pace he's at right now. But in the silver stick, he was unbelievable for them. And then, like you said there, Andrew Vermeulen as well. He was the leading scorer for Niagara, actually.
Yeah.
So he was just unbelievable. Just the game he plays, he's got a real complete game in the sense of the word, where he's got that physicality. He can play a bit of a two-way game as well. He's not afraid to lay the body here and there, knock guys off the puck, turn the puck over. But he's also got that shot that we saw him use on the power play, and he can see the ice pretty well too. So those two guys, just an unreal dynamic duo on that team there. And then a third guy I wanted to bring up as well, Parker Forlan. He's got to be one of the smartest players in this draft class. And I know he's he's got to be one of the smartest, if not the smartest in the SCTA, especially. Not the biggest player in size or strength-wise, but he holds his own. No, he doesn't get knocked off the puck. He doesn't end up on the ice very much. He sees the ice effectively. That high hockey IQ is there. His passing is unbelievable. Just uses those soft hands and just laces the puck in those nice little seams. I've watched him countless times this year, not only at the Silver Stick, but at Seymour Hanna Arena, where him and Testa or Vermeulen, whoever's on that far side, where Forlan's on the other side, power play, just hitting those cross seams, and it's just unbelievable to watch. But he uses that change of pace in his game to really open up more time and space, and then open up little lanes here where he can pass the puck. But Forlan is unreal, man.
Yeah, no, he's unbelievable. Like, he gets a lot of points. Like he's able to get to spots effectively, very, very quick. Like, I didn't get to see hit Niagara a ton in this tournament, but in other games I've seen, like he'll beat the D like off the rush, and if the other, like, I guess, like off the puck, he'll beat the D off the rush and get open, and then kind of gives a lot of time for the other forward to kind of hit him with a pass, and then he'll just bang it in, or he'll take it back and do a deke and put it in. Like he's really good at like getting into open spots, getting into open areas. Great skater. Like when he's got the puck, when he cuts middle, he's able to lose guys and create space to make plays, to shoot the puck, to just create offensive opportunities. And yeah, like just unbelievable player. Like I really like him a lot as well. Like Luke Tuin on D, we've mentioned before, like great skating defenseman. He had a few assists in the tourney. Just a really, really solid skater and really fast, eh?
Yeah, he's a mobile defenseman, really good on his edges there. Really physical defenseman who's able to move the puck up ice. Not afraid to carry the puck up ice offensively as well. Lucas Tuin, that is. Lucas Hin is another defenseman, really physical on defense there for Niagara. Kind of tough to play against them low. I watched him score a really nice goal against Southern Tier right after the Silver Stick. Got to put that one on the Insta. We put that one up there. So he had a solid tourney. I'd also be remiss if I didn't mention one of my favorites, actually, Dominic DiFrancesco from Niagara there. Oh my goodness, just a dog on a bone, relentless, this kid. He's just the speed he has as well, the pace he plays at. As soon as the dump and chase game, when they dunk the puck in, he's the first one on it all the time. And if he's not the first one on it, he is on that player so quickly. And I feel bad for that player who he's going up against, because he is relentless. He's pushing him with the stick, pushing him with his body, using the stick, active stick constantly, just getting in there. He causes so many turnovers with just his relentless pressure. And might I add, he has an unbelievable shot as well, just ripping it. And it's just a quick release as well. And he opens up so many chances for his teammates. Like he reminds me of a Zach Hyman type player with just the effort he plays with and the energy and just what he does down low in the corners for his team. And kind of they put him on a line. I believe he plays a lot of the time he plays with Vermeulen down here at Seymour, and I think he played a lot with him there. But whether he's playing with Testa, whether he's playing with Forlan or Vermeulen, he is the guy who gets down there and helps get them the puck where they can kind of use their skill as well. If DiFrancesco, he can surprise some guys when he's with these little quick little hands he's got there and little dipsy doodle deeks there he's got going. So honestly, Dominic DiFrancesco is a player who every time I see him in Niagara and every time I see him at saw him at the Silver Stick there, I just keep loving him more and more. So honestly, those are some guys from Niagara who I really enjoy watching. And with that being said, we'll jump into the next group, who are in Group 6 there. Waterloo, the Waterloo Wolves. My goodness, just a really solid group of players, Ryan. It'd be hard not to start with Brady Martone, and one of the top 07 players. It'd be hard not to. Just a phenomenal player. He was really impactful for them this tournament, Ryan.
Yeah, no, Brady Martin is the real deal. He's among the top 07s, eligible for next year's draft. Really, really good player. Like, I think he's the best player on the team. I think I mentioned that before, and we're starting off with them, right? Really, really highly skilled, skates well, really, really good player overall. We've mentioned him a lot before, so let's jump into some of the 06s. That we haven't mentioned. We haven't really mentioned a lot of guys in Waterloo. Colton Henderson, tall forward. He tied for the team lead in points here. There's quite a few. There's a handful of them that had 3 points, but Colton Henderson out of that group at the top of scoring there really stood out for me. Really fast, good speed. Kind of creates a lot. Like he's got good puck pressure. He's on the forecheck hard. Lays the body, wins a lot of pucks, does a lot of stuff I like. So Colton Henderson is one that the more I watch, he's standing out more and more.
Absolutely. And I'll throw in a couple of names here I really enjoyed watching in the game I saw. Jack Martin, not the quickest player in the sense of the word, but his skating really uses his skating and his change in pace effectively to really open up space out there on the ice. Braden Stump is another player who I really liked watching as well in that game. Those were a couple guys who I really liked. They were creating chances, using physicality, generating chances, and moving in open space, places where they could get the puck and just capitalizing their chances in the game I saw where they played against Lambton in that respect, Ryan. So
yeah, and I would just add, I like Braden Stump as well. I thought he was solid. Like he's skilled. He's got some moves and moves really well too. So
yeah. So then the next team we'll jump into from Group 6 is Lambton, the Lambton Junior Sting. Really, the first player I noticed is Jace Dupuis. Just one thing right off the bat that I noticed with him, unbelievable shot, really quick release, just snaps, firecracker release like we talked about before, just snaps off a stick, tons of speed and velocity there, Ryan.
Yeah, I know he's got a great shot release, good puck skills. Like he's really good with the puck, crisp passes. So like all his touches he's very sure with his stick, good stick. Good player overall. Josh Glavin, number 5, a defenseman. He moves really well. He skates really well. I'm pretty sure he wears the C for the team. Yeah, really, really good player. Like he flies, activates that offense, like pushes that puck up ice. Great on the breakouts. Great in all kinds of different situations, just with that excellent skating. And I mean, he's got a good stick, good skill, and a good passer, right?
Oh, absolutely. He's just a tough to play against as well. Really, really physical guy as well in that respect. And another guy I really liked watching, Evan Van Gort, a forward with Lambton there. Smaller guy, but really kind of just getting in the dirt. He's not afraid, despite not being as big as some other guys. Really just gets after. He's got some speed to him, drives wide, isn't afraid to blow by guys, and goes to the net hard. Down in the corners, I was pleasantly surprised with the fact that he was in there and he was winning puck battles, really using his body and leverage to get low, use his center of gravity and not get knocked over and come out with the puck a lot of the time in those battles, which was really great to see with a player of his size who some might expect would get pushed around, but he was not getting pushed around. So Evan Van Gort was a forward on Lambton. I really enjoyed watching as well there in that respect, Ryan. So
yeah, no, he was solid in the tournament. I like Jack Burbeck. He was solid. And then he's a forward, number 77. Logan Crummy was another one that was pretty solid as well.
Yeah. So, and then the next team we'll jump into from Group 6, the last team here, the York Simcoe Express. I'll let you kind of head this one off because I know there's a player named Cole Davis you've really enjoyed watching here.
Yeah, I'm really, you know what, honestly, the more I watch York Simcoe, I really, really like Cole Davis. He's a physical player. I mean, York Simcoe didn't quite have they didn't have the tournament that they'd hoped for. They were on the bottom of the group here on the table, but Cole Davis really stood out. Like he throws huge hits, plays the game the right way, gets after it. Really, really great shot, like really, really crisp shot release. He had a penalty shot against Quinte, and we posted that one on our Instagram a while ago. So check that out. Like that's a great kind of showcases that shot release. Like he comes in and he's deceptive with his shot release. Like he doesn't give much away before he lets it go, and he gets it off quick. And that combined with his great skating and physicality, like I think he's a really, really solid player. Like I really, really like him a lot.
Oh, absolutely. And I think we'd be remiss if we didn't bring up another guest of the podcast, Daniel Vasic. Oh, gosh, he was a great player. I mean, we talked to him at length, ad nauseum, when we had him on, and just the shot he has, the high intensity he plays with, the pace that he plays at. Just got one of the better players on YIC with the way he plays. He's a play driver for them, gets after it for them, and honestly, he was an impactful player for them in the Silver Stick. Despite them not having the success I'm sure they wanted, he was a phenomenal player for them, Ryan.
Yeah, definitely. He's really good. Like he's a great skater. He moves exceptionally well. Like great like lateral movement, great edges, great stops and starts, and that get up, that acceleration is a huge strength. Good center, wins a lot of draws. Does a lot of things right. Like plays the game the right way and works hard. Like I mean, I was at the OMHA showcase and I was kind of going through like the players to watch. So he was listed for York Simcoe as the player to watch for that team for the OMHA showcase this past weekend, and for good reason. Like he's a complete, well-rounded center.
Absolutely. A couple more players I actually wanted to mention here. Jared McNeil and Adam Matar were a couple players. Matar led the team in scoring in the tournament. Jared McNeil, I saw him lay a bunch of crushing hits in one game against Niagara North. He's a player that I was really enjoying watching, and Adam Matar, just another couple great players. I know you've seen York Simcoe a bit, and you were impressed with Matar especially as well.
Yeah. Matar is a good player, good scorer. McNeil, like I like a lot as well. Like he wears the C, a leader on the team, obviously wearing that letter, and plays center. Like really, really solid player. So like I'm not surprised you brought him up. He's really been a standout in like my views as well.
Absolutely. So with that being said, that wraps up Group 6 there, Ryan, and then we'll get into the last group we wanted to cover here in terms of Part 1 from the Silver Stick, Group number 7. And my goodness, we'll start off with these two teams, Ajax and the Toronto Marlies. They had a phenomenal game, 7:30 in the morning, bright and early on Saturday. Oh my gosh, 1-0 win for Ajax, but Marlies had lots of chances. Ajax, the goalie played great. They played great team defense, and they capitalized on their chance late in the game and finished on it. And honestly, that win's what propelled them to the quarterfinal. And actually, that quarterfinal would put them into the semifinal. So, oh my. Ajax is a team. I hadn't seen them yet this year, and my goodness, I can't wait to watch them some more this year, Ryan. I mean, it all starts. We had one of the Ajax players on, so I'm going to save that player. It was Sean Doherty, who in fact scored the game OT winner against Quinte in the 8th overtime. So we had the chance to talk to him. So we'll save him for a bit later. But Ethan McDonald on Ajax, what a player he is. The way he creates offense, his skating is a big part of his game, Ryan.
Yeah, no, he's unbelievable. Like he skates well. He's a good scorer. Like he can really shoot the puck. Like in shooting accuracy, I think is a big thing for him. Like he hits his spots and he can score. So he's really solid. Like I mean Doherty, we're gonna talk about him later. But yeah, McDonald, like unbelievable. They like just good puck skills, good overall playmaker, high hockey IQ, like and plays solid in all the zones. Like I mean, I've been to a bunch of Ajax games now, and like pretty much any game I'd go to, he scores a goal or two, and just always creating offensively, right?
Absolutely. Another player I enjoyed watching, especially when I saw him in the against the Marlies there, rather, sorry. Um, Nick Pulowski, number 4 for on defense there for Ajax. He was a player. He was doesn't overcomplicate things, but he moves the puck up ice efficiently. He can skate the puck up ice well. He's mobile. He moves well on his edges, but he's just really effective. Like he doesn't give up much. He doesn't get caught out of position defensively, but he can be hard to battle play against down low in his own zone there. But he had a really strong game against the Marlies there, in that 7:30 a.m. game. So he was a player I really enjoyed watching. Another couple players, Ryan Sinnott on forward, Van Williamson, mobile defenseman as well. He was on the ice for that OT winner. Really kind of opened up some space for Doherty there, although there was a lot of space in 2-on-2, might I add. So, but another couple guys there I like. Lucas Durham's another forward, and then I know we've mentioned a lot of 07s, but they've actually got an 07 on their roster too. My goodness, Ryan Slepkowskis. I apologize if I pronounced it incorrectly. But Ryan Slepkowskis is a defenseman for them who really stood out there as well. Had a really solid tournament there, Ryan.
Yeah, out of the guys you mentioned, Van Williamson, I mean, we've mentioned him on the pod before. Just an unbelievable skater. You mentioned his mobility, really, really fast, really quick, great edges, moves really well. So that provides him a lot of advantages on the ice. And like I would also say with Ajax, like you get down to their goaltending, like they had that ridiculous number of overtimes against Quinte, and I don't know how many breakaways he stopped and shots and tough plays where he made unbelievable saves, and he was just absolutely on fire. He played 4 games in the tournament for Ajax, and was just unbelievable. Like 1.86 goals against average. The other goalie, Trey Caracolio. Sorry if I mentioned that wrong. Caracolio. Oh, sorry. That was a tough one. But he had 0.54 goals against average. So like that group in net there, like that team, like they build from the net out, right?
That's a consistent theme we've seen with Ajax too, especially like I remember their 04 group where they had Tanias Mathurin leading the way on defense there. And they always seem to get strong goaltending. I watched them tie the Marlies. It was a 5-5 game, and it was just they get the offense when they need it, but they also play really great defense, team defense. And their goaltenders always seem to show up in the big moments, when they need the most to make those big saves and have those kind of standout performances when they need it most, which it seems to be a consistent trend with Ajax teams, which I mean you can't ask for much better when your goaltenders have a great performance, you play that tight system defensively, and you capitalize on your offensive chances when you get them, which is massive
Yeah.
for them, eh?
And I want to make sure I get this name right. I'm gonna give it another shot. Trey Caracolio. So I apologize for that, butchering the name a couple of times there. I think I got it better the third time, just to make sure. Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah.
No worries. So
Not the best media by me.
no worries. But we'll jump into the next team who unfortunately didn't make the quarterfinals, but they still had an unreal tournament. The Toronto Marlboros. I mean, I'm gonna start off with Sam Dickinson, who every time I see him, he gets better and better, and I love this defenseman even more and more. Just the way his hockey sense, his IQ, the way he sees the ice, his skating for a guy of his size. He's 6'2", 195. He moves so well. He's physical, but he moves the puck up ice. He's not afraid to carry the puck up ice. He reads the play well, so he knows when, hey, I can jump in this hole and create an on-man rush, or hey, I got the puck on my stick. I'll take this ice open and I'll set up a guy here or there and create chances. He's just all around a phenomenal defenseman. He's one of the best in this draft, no doubt about it.
Yeah, no, Sam Dickinson's unbelievable, big, powerful. Like he looks like a guy that could be like you could probably throw him in the OHL now, and he'd be able to hold his own and do well. Like really, really good player. Definitely going to be one of the top defensemen taken in the draft. Like I know we've talked about a lot about him in recent episodes, so I won't go too much more into it. But we have him really, really high. Leo Serlin led the team in points. Forward, really fast, great skater, always creating offensively, like really, really, really tough, like really, really tough to contain, eh?
Yeah, he had a big game against that Edmonton team in that one game. 7-point massive performance there in that respect. Another bunch of players I wanted to mention. It's fairly odd. They've been performing amazingly this year. I mean, Carter Lowe, Beckett Seneke, and Justin Bodno, that group right there, the forward group, they really lead the way offensively for that team in terms of play driving. well, Carter Lowe especially. I mean, just the overall game he plays with his size. We talked about him. We talked about him when we had him on the podcast. So I won't go into too much detail. With just the way he puts himself in open spaces on the ice where he can get chances and get quality scoring chances. He came inches away from capitalizing in the Ajax game. Just a couple bounces here or there, and a different game, different story. But he had a phenomenal tournament. Bono doing his thing again. He's creating, moves himself in this open ice where he can receive the puck, and his ability to see the ice and make plays with it, using his skill to his advantage to find players, hit the passing lanes, or also shoot the puck and put the puck in the net consistently. And then Beckett Seneke, my goodness, his skating, his shiftiness sets him up so well. He gets nice and low, uses that kind of hip hop pocket to protect the puck and get low and really just drive and create so much chances for his team. And just those three are just unbelievable offensively, Ryan.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like Carter Lowe, friend of the show, awesome. We had an interview with him on a previous episode, so that was great. And yeah, he's big, like really, really good player, like really fast, like so hard to contain. He flies. We've talked a lot about him on this podcast, and for good reason. Like he's a really, really good player. Botno seems to like have he seems to have elevated his game to another level. He's been really good. Just a complete overall player. Like I saw him snipe a gorgeous goal against Sudbury, and it was just he got middle and ripped it. Just an awesome player. Like Beckett Seneke, like that shiftiness, that like lateral movement. He's a nightmare to try to stop off the rush. Like if he's coming in one-on-one, you better bring your A game and do not look at the puck. Try to play the body if you can, because I mean, if you look at the puck, you're screwed. He's absolutely incredible. I love this team, this Marlies team. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to mention to your point, we both love the Marlies team for that matter. And I was going to shout out some defensemen as well. Parker Von Richter.
Yeah.
Watched him lay some crushing checks in the Ajax game. Just a great defenseman in terms of offensively, especially. He's really great. Used his body effectively, maintains a good gap, but also got a heck of a shot as well. I'll also say Carson Woodall, another great defenseman. Kind of just moves the puck up ice really efficiently, but also kind of he's good skater, uses his edge as well, creates space. And then David Green as well, another defenseman on there. Kind of this team's kind of really good defensively as well, and it's again with a lot of teams. Their goaltender Marco Bilic as well, great goaltender as well. Really came up big in that Ajax game as well. Made some big saves. It was goaltender's game in that game there against Ajax. So he had a big performance, and the defense for the Marlies is phenomenal in that respect. And obviously, I think we all know about their offense. So that Marlies team is incredible, man. Holy.
Yeah, definitely. Like David Green. I mean, Luke Warner skates well. He's another good player. Like all the guys you mentioned are great. Von Richter was a bit of. I always looking at him like, oh, this guy could be a sleeper, but he made the GTHL top prospects game among a whole bunch of guys on this Marlies team, so he's not much of a sleeper anymore. With making that that lineup there, which is going to be awesome. But yeah, big hits like you mentioned, and I mean Bilic was the goalie when I went to the JRC game that they won. JRC obviously the champions of the Silver Stick and the Markham tournament, so that was a huge win that the Marlies got on that game, and Bilic was unbelievable there, good in the tournament, and Callum York didn't let a goal in the whole tournament. So yeah, it's an awesome team from top to bottom, right?
Absolutely. So we'll jump into the next team in Group 7 there. The Windsor Junior Spitfires. I'll start off with this first play here, Josh LePayne. He sent me some highlights here from the Silver Stick that he played, and great interacting with him through the social media there and talking to him, getting to send the highlights there. He's a big body too, and he's great, quick hands and tight. He led their team in scoring there, and for good reason. He's got the finesse, he's got the skill, but he's also got that body that he really uses to shield the puck, battle hard down low, but also attack the net. That's something I love seeing with big guys. Love seeing them attack the net and use their body to be a menace when they go into the net there.
Yeah, no, he's really good. Like he's a big body, like you mentioned, and I mean he can score. Like he can rip those shots. He's got a really, really powerful shot with excellent velocity. Just gets a lot on it, right? Like there's a lot behind it when he rips it, and good overall player. Like he's a big body, heavy player, and tough to play against. Like a player I noticed in the summer and at draft day, Stefan Georgievic.
Yep.
He's solid. Like he showed well at the tournament. Griffin Grudner is another one that did well, and yeah, like I think like their goalies are also strong on Windsor. Like Connor Davis is a really good goalie, and Dante Bertolin, really solid goalies. So this team, like they're pretty complete overall. Like there's a bunch of other players that are solid as well, but those are kind of the standouts for the team that I noticed.
No, absolutely. And it was honestly, Windsor's had a really great season and a tough group in the Silver Stick. And they had a strong Silver Stick as a whole as well in the tournament. They tough 4-2 loss to Marlies, but they were never. It was not a game where it was necessarily like complete. They got completely dominant. Like it wasn't a Marlies dominated type game. They battled. They were battling back. Marlies took an early lead. Windsor battled back, and it honestly showed that fight and that compete that the whole team has, which was great to see. But we'll jump into the last team here from Group 7. We won't cover Edmonton because honestly we haven't seen them a whole lot, and they're from out west, so I'm just not doesn't fit the same OHL draft here. So we'll jump into
Sure.
Sudbury, the Sudbury Nickel Capitals, and I'll start off here with one player who stood out and talked about him previously, Nolan Newton, great player. Just the honestly, I watching him, he's a play driver for that team. He creates a lot for them. Just his movement with the puck, and he's always getting after it. Just compete as well. Just honestly, a guy who creates tons of scoring chances for that team for Sudbury there. And it was great to see them come down and kind of compete the way they did there.
Yeah, definitely. Nolan Newton, like when I was watching, I saw him get a couple goals in the one game there. He's good. He gets after it, competes hard, plays hard, good player. The player I really liked on Sudbury among the 06s was Tyson Rismond, 77 defenseman. He's a beast. He's a big, strong kid, and like he skates well, moves well, hits hard. Like he hits like a Mack truck. I love it. And then really tough, like really like kind of mean out there, and he gets after it. Like he does a lot of things well and skates really well. Yeah, like I mean, like if you're gonna be going in to try to lay a hit on him, you better be bringing your best, because if you try to hit him, he's probably gonna hit you. It's like one of those guys, right? It's
Yeah.
pretty awesome. And then they had a couple '07 call-ups that were great, like Alex Valad. Really great feet, great skater, mobile defenseman. He had a blast from the point that just awesome in the Edmonton game that I watched, and just buried one like it was awesome. A really heavy shot, but the big thing with him is his skating and throws big hits. I saw him play U15, and U15 he's just like laying guys out. So I really like him a lot. So look out for him for next year. And Grant Booth was also really good, an '07 call up. Um, yeah, he's just like a good, well-rounded 200-foot center, like really good skater, great edges, good player. So the Sudbury team was fun to watch. Like, man, that Risman kid though, oh, he could like
Crush
he's one of
guys,
those.
eh?
Oh yeah, no, he's really good. Like he's really strong, and I mean that's not it. Like he's got good hands, good passer, good player. Like I think he's a really solid overall defenseman that is going to garner some attention come draft time.
Awesome. Honestly, that's phenomenal. And honestly, we've covered a lot with the group 3, 6, and 7 there. So I think we've had our audience wait long enough for the interviews here. So we'll get into the first interview here, Ryan, with the game with the player who scored the game-winning goal in the championship final there, Porter Martone. We phenomenal getting to talk to him. So without further ado, Ryan, here's our interview with JRC forward Porter Martone. All right, we are here with star forward from the Toronto Junior Canadiens U16 AAA program, Porter Martone. Porter, how's it going?
Pretty good. How about you guys?
Not too bad. Super pumped to have star forward from the JRC here who scored the game-winning goal in the final against the Sens there in the Silver Stick, coming off a massive tournament there in Whitby. I mean, just putting up 10 points in 7 games. I mean, before we get into like the final itself, you guys had quite the round robin. It seems like so far in the past couple of tournaments, you guys have gotten in some tough divisions. Just when you had a tough first game, 1-0 win, You have the 3-3 tied in Niagara, and then that tough 4-3 OT win against Vaughan. Can you tell us about kind of the road to the finals in the Silver Stick before we get into the finals there?
Yeah, like going in the tournament, we kind of knew like our division like was pretty hard. Like Niagara's a good team, Waterloo is, like even York Simcoe, like that we know that they're going to give us a go. And Waterloo, we weren't really like we weren't prepared. We got a lucky goal at the start, and we kind of just held on that lead. We just worked and worked, and then like Saturday, we had a really good day against Lambton and York Simcoe. We played our game, and then Niagara, we were down 1-0. We got a goal, fought back, and then we were up 2-1. They tied up, and then 3-3. We tied that one, and luckily we won our division, and we played Vaughan in the quarters and won in overtime, and then brought us to Sunday. So
That was, yeah, and like that whole thing. I mean, I got to see the end of the Niagara Jares, the game against Niagara.
Unbelievable.
That whole game was just back and forth. And just
Yeah.
watching it, like Niagara, I've watched Niagara a bunch being down in St. Catharines, and they play like that had to be their best game of the year against you guys. And the fact that was so back and forth, I mean, it was unbelievable to watch. And then that overtime win against Vaughan was just unbelievable with the way Vaughan plays. And then I mean Sunday, you guys were down 2-0 to the Sens, and then come back. You faced a bit of adversity too in that final with kind of a disallowed controversial no goal, I guess, with Tersigni giving the Matthew Selly there on the first goal. So walk us through that final. You got the game-winning goal. How did that play out, and what was it like to get that win against them in the finals there?
So like first period, they came out flying. We stuck with them. We played a good first period, and then they got 2 goals, and our coach Dan Sisk on the bench like just told us like we got our chances. We got to just bury our chances, and we're gonna come back. And then that goal gets called off, and then like not even 15 seconds later we score, and it was just like, okay, we got all the momentum now. We brought in the intermission, and kind of everyone in the room, like we just had that positive vibe, like we were gonna come back, like we had this one. And then I don't know, I think 10 minutes left in the third, Van Volsen just wired one, and it was just like one of those goals like the hockey gods were just giving to us, like hit off the goalie and bounced in. And then we got a power play at the end, and I got the puck in like the high like right slot, and I was just like, I want to fire this, and I just shot it, and it went in, and I don't know, and then we just locked down deep for the last 4 minutes and won the game.
That whole game was just unreal. And I mean, you seem to like that little shot there in the slot there on the power play, especially just walking in and just ripping it past goalies. Like that's a money shot for you there. And watching that game, it was just the comeback itself and the energy. Like you were right there. The Sens had that kind of momentum to start. Then you guys just seemed to little by little, it just was like you guys just took over the game and just took that momentum, just kind of took the game by the saying the bull by the horns there, kind of for lack of a better term. And it was just unreal to watch, which was remarkable to see. And then go ahead.
It was a fun game to play. Like the atmosphere there, like that arena, Rink One, Iroquois was just jam. Like plenty of people were coming to watch, and I guess we just lived up to the moment, I guess.
Yeah, it's been, I mean, that was your third game against the Sens too, and 3-0 against the Sens this season. And I guess it's worth mentioning too, you guys are now 2 for 2 in tournaments this year, which, I mean, what you guys going to be, I guess your next tournament is probably going to be the Marlies tournament, I guess, eh?
Yeah, it's the Marlies tournament. I think December 27th it starts, and that should be another fun tournament too. Christmas, holidays, World Juniors going on, and just I don't know. We'll see about that one. Hopefully we can come up with the win in that one too.
Knock on wood, probably going for a little 3 for 3 there with for Marlies there. So we'll knock on wood. We won't jinx that one for you there, but and then we'll get into the JRC now. Your team here so far with the start you guys have had, and a big reason for the big start you guys have had this season is your line there with Jack Van Volsen, Antonio Tersigni, and yourself. I mean, it just seems like watching you guys have been consistent producers for your team.
On fire.
The chemistry has been unreal. Can you talk to us just about that line that you guys have there?
Well, so like I don't know, we had like that Hamilton thing down in Hamilton, and our coaches kind of tried out everyone, and then after that we made up those lines, and we kind of just instantly clicked. Like we were just like at practice moving pucks around, like we just knew where each other were on the ice, and then it carried into the Markham tournament, and then we just haven't stopped. We've just been rolling since then.
Gosh. Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
like you guys play on the power play together. You guys, it seems like he gets you on the PK sometimes together. Obviously, it's like one less guy on the PK, but it's whenever it's possible, you guys are together, and it's just I feel bad for the opposition because you guys just whenever you guys are on the ice, it's just unstoppable. I mean, the turn of the silver stick, you guys were just racking up points. I think all of the three of you were top 10 in points or top 13 rather too, with multiple guys tied. So it's just watching that is just unreal. And I think Ryan, you'd agree with me there that it's just been unreal to watch that line.
Oh yeah, unbelievable. You guys are absolutely on fire right now, and it's really fun to watch. Like Connor mentioned this earlier. He was talking about like how you're always able to kind of find yourself in the slot open, and that's an incredible skill. It shows a lot of hockey IQ, just the way you kind of maneuver in the offensive zone and whatnot. Like there's always like certain guys that they're able to get to those open spots in the scoring area and get like in a position to take a pass, and you're one of those guys like you've been able to put the puck in the back of the net consistently this season, and it's those shots from the slot like in tight around the net. Like you're an excellent finisher, and your line mates, like with the chemistry you guys got, they're finding you and you're burying it. Like what do you attribute like your like strong finishing ability to?
Well, I kind of just always like I've always loved to score goals. Like so I've always like when I got those chances, like I always shoot them, and like they're not gonna go in every time, but if you keep shooting, you're gonna score. And I feel like now when I get those chances, like I like especially in key times, you have to capitalize in those moments. And like my alignment, Vanner and Terracini, they know where I'm on the ice. I know where they are.
Yeah.
I know where they are on the ice, and they get me that like they should trust. Like if they get me that puck there, it'll go in. And if I get them the puck, like I know that they're gonna bury in those key opportunities.
Yeah, definitely. Like the chemistry you guys have and moving the puck around, it's awesome. And I mean, OHL teams are going to notice that, like that high finishing rate. It's a really important thing. Like you don't, I mean, chances, like especially at the next level, they come few and far between. So like when you get the puck in the slot, you got to make it count, right?
Yeah.
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 But
I also love just like shooting the puck. Like I don't know what it is. Like especially like that one tee, like kind of like the cross, like just like getting down on one knee and just like ripping it. Like I feel like I might have scored like half my goals just off that this year.
oh, that's awesome. Like and like your shot release, you get it off quick, right? So that really helps.
Yeah.
And you don't give the goalie any time to set up. And yeah, you're in everyone's head right now. You're on fire. So
Thank you.
and like moving on to like another part of your game, like you're really good situationally, like any situation, PK, PP, whether it's like last minute of the game, you're up a goal, the defensive game is really good, or if your team's in need of a goal, like I mean, your team overall, you're a great third period team, but like just you, like in general, like we really notice like any situation, like you seem to show that high hockey IQ. You're really good. Like, is that ability to be versatile and effective in like different situations, whether it be like I don't know, different parts of the game where you're able to show your hockey IQ? Is that something you've like emphasized on, like just kind of knowing like what to do in different situations and all that?
Yeah, like I've always loved to like just been reliable all over the ice. Like I love to be like
Yeah.
a 200-foot player. So like if we need to if we're up by a goal and I need to go in the D zone, like I like to be trusted. Like I like to be on the ice. Like just I don't know. Like I feel like if you're good in the D zone, it's gonna you're gonna be good in the O zone. Like it just like kind of like how it works. Like if you play all 200 feet, you're gonna get chances. And I don't know. I like I defense first. Like that's how you're gonna win championships. Like just by playing defense.
Oh, that's unbelievable. Like attention to detail. Like, I mean, scouts notice that stuff. Like OHL scouts notice it. Connor and I have really noticed it, that attention to detail, Connor. Like he's got that high IQ and all that, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, you had that I think you also got the empty netter too in that game on Sunday too, which just showed the ability to play last minute under pressure in a tight situation, high intensity game type thing, which is just massive. But I mean, you mentioned kind of that one knee one timer there that you see the NHLers kind of get going there. Speaking of NHLers, Are there any players in the NHL you model your game after?
Like one player, like when like back when he was kind of is like like not prime, he's still really good, but like kind of like Corey Perry. Like I like how he like plays
Oh, nice.
like not like I don't know like Corey Perry. I don't know like I like how he plays like a big like I like being like get the puck to the net. Like he sees the ice very well. He's good all over the ice. He's like he can release the puck very well, and I don't know. I really feel like that might be my player comparison. Like as of right now, he's a
No, that's
big
a
big net prep. Like I like like a net presence, like screening the goalie, tipping pucks in.
Oh, no, that's a perfect comparison just with the game, especially like you mentioned when he was in his prime too, with his
Yeah,
ability to score kind of further away from the net. But now he's kind of
yeah,
adjusted to being like that guy in tight around the net. That's
yeah,
just a perfect comp for you, especially just with that type of game because you not only do you have that shot from away, but also you're not like you mentioned, you're not afraid to get in front of the goalie and kind of annoy the crap out of him in
yeah.
that sense of the word, which is great. And then I mean kind of I got a fun one here, just hockey related, but a fun one here. Just kind of see what where you're at with hockey and kind of rules here. If you could add or change any rule in hockey, what would you add or change? I know we saw the 2-on-2 hockey in the Quinte game. What do you think of that, and what kind of would you add or change to hockey here?
Uh, that is like I do like the overtime how like he produces like the but I don't even like I think like like at the next level like even OHL and NHL like that overtime like reduces like if you're not gonna score 3-on-3 you got to go 2-on-2 and if you're not gonna like
Oh, cool.
even 1-on-1 like I remember some tournaments we've been 1-on-1 and I remember like we actually pulled our goal and we went 2-on-1 and then
Oh,
it just got to you got to make fun of it. So I think that would actually be a good rule to change like like after 5 minutes of 3-on-3 you're gonna go down to 2-on-2 and then just keep going until someone scores.
That's sick. I remember watching something with like McDavid where they had like the McDavid Edmonton Order roundtable type thing. And McDavid's
Yeah,
like, it'd be kind of cool to have like the 3-on-3, 2-on-2, just like that. Although I feel
yeah,
bad, although with his speed, it'd be like game
yeah,
over as soon as he steps on the ice 2-on-2. So it's like, I
yeah.
wouldn't like to have that, but like, I know you got the chance. I know you were telling us before, and you guys, because your game finished right before that, and somehow the way it worked out was everyone expected you because your guys' games kind of started at similar times. Everyone would have expected the Quinte game to finish before yours or whatever, but
Yeah.
you guys finished and you guys got to go watch the Quinte game. Like, what was going on? Like, what was
Well,
going on here?
actually, so we got off the ice, like we won. We like talked for a bit, and then we kind of were checking the scores, and we are like fifth overtime, and then someone pulls up on their phone live stream, and they're watching live stream on their phone, and I'm like, I'm getting out of here. I'm gonna go watch in real life, and
yeah.
I just got dressed as fast as I can. Same with like 10 kids from our team, and we go over there, and we walk in, and we're like, I don't know if we're finding a spot, and then I look over, and I see Henry Muse just standing up on a railing, so everyone goes stands on the railing watching the game. And I don't know. That arena was just jammed then.
Oh, that was like that whole thing was unreal. I know we went, me and my buddies, we started at the Sens game. We tried to go over because we heard your game was in overtime. We got there right after it finished. And then we went
Yeah.
with like the
Yeah.
pack of people just like moving as a herd to the Quinte rink. And it was like peeking through heads. I wish I was 6'5" when that game, like in that situation, so I could see over people's heads. Because we were
Yeah.
standing like in the Zamboni door and you're like, holy jeez. Like those guys were exhausted. That whole thing was nuts. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just insane. I know Ryan was there as well, which was incredible, Ryan.
Yeah, no, I was there. I was watching and then I had to leave for a bit and I came back and I lost my spot on the glass, obviously. Like it's tough to get a good spot, especially when you get to those quarterfinal games. And I ended up like on the stairs, like way up in the corner in some nook, kind of trying to like I think everyone was
Yeah.
trying to get a vantage point. I don't know, where were you, Connor? You were
I
behind
was,
the net, right?
yeah, I was stuck behind the Zamboni door. I stopped behind one dude and he told me to get out of his way, so I had to move down a bit. It was all the whole thing that was nuts. I was like, they talk about they have those, you know how they have those signs on like the back of the boards there that says physical
Yeah.
distancing? Those
Yeah.
signs mean nothing now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
There's no meaning to those signs in that situation at all. I was
yeah,
like,
even
there's
our like when we played Ajax in the semis, like it was like I skated on the ice. I was like, this is crazy. Like just how many like that small rink too. It just jammed. It was like the atmosphere just insane. I feel like you guys like you played better in those games. Like when the eyes are on you, like everyone's watching. Like
yeah.
yeah.
kids from all over. It was fun. Really fun tournament.
it probably gives you like an extra energy boost, I guess. You got all these eyes, and it's like, oh, okay, now
Yeah.
I can
Time to
perform a bit
step
more
up.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know, definitely. Like it's I mean, you performed, like you got her done, and you impressed the scouts. There's a lot of people there, so good on you. That's awesome stuff, Porter.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's get into some fun ones to kind of know a little bit more about your personality and get to know you off the ice a bit. This is an interesting one. We haven't asked this one in a while. If you won the lottery, what would be the first thing you would buy?
I think I would want to buy just like a massive, like a huge house, and just like put like a basketball court, like like a hockey rink, like a swimming pool, like just like all sports things, like an arcade, a movie theater. Like I don't know, I would love that, just having different things to do all day long. Like just like go from playing basketball, playing hockey, going swimming. Like I don't know, I feel like that would be a blast.
Yeah, no, like unbelievable. And then like, I mean, like I'm sure a lot of your friends are like involved in hockey and big sports guys, right? Because
Yeah.
you're an athlete, you have a lot of friends in the game, and it'd be cool to just have people over, eh? And just
Yeah.
hey, what do you want to do? You want to play basketball? You want to go shoot pucks? You want to, right?
Yeah, like I'm like, I have this thing in my basement. It's like a little hockey area where I shoot pucks, and it's like now we're so big we can't even use it anymore. I'm like always like thinking of how a bigger thing we can use, like just to I don't know,
Yeah,
hang out even.
basically
no,
have
that's cool.
it basically turned into like I don't know if you've seen like Dude Perfect. They're like headquarters where
Yeah,
they
like
have like,
something like that. That's what I was kind of thinking of. Like,
yeah,
yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
exactly. It'd be sick. I know I recently saw McDavid. Everyone's making fun of McDavid's house now for some reason, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
I saw that. I saw that. That's pretty cool.
He's got the whole like basketball court thing plus the roller skate stuff.
Yeah,
Everyone I see Twitter, everyone making fun of his house. I'm like, gosh, I'd give anything to live in that house right now. Like
yeah,
Jesus.
yeah,
people on Twitter will make fun of anything for anything. Like Twitter
Twitter's
is
nuts.
Twitter is an interesting space, but actually, like let's just leave it at that.
That's a great
It's interesting.
that's a great segue into the next question, eh, Ryan?
Yeah, it's a great segue into this one. Because we were gonna ask you, like, we haven't asked this one a lot either. If you could only use one social media platform, whether it be like Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, like etc., like whatever other ones, like what would you use? What's your go-to social media?
that is a hard one. Like, I actually, I've always just had Snapchat and Instagram and TikTok, and then I got Twitter at the start of this year because I don't know. I'd scroll down there and just look for through it for days. But I think I'd have to pick Snapchat because that's just how we communicate with our friends now, and that's how we talk in our team group chat. And I don't know. It'd be hard not using Snapchat.
Is
Yeah,
there is there a
yeah.
guy on the JRC who's got like who's like the must add on Snapchat for lack of a better word? Must add on Snapchat or must follow on Insta?
I don't know. I always Hag and Musi always comparing their followers on Instagram and stuff. Like I don't know. Musi's always showing us his followers and his Snapchat and everything, but yeah,
That's
I don't
awesome.
know.
That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
That's
yeah,
awesome. That Instagram's unreal. I know Instagram's gonna see a lot of your highlights in a bit when we get all those put up and stuff, and they'll also see it on the YouTube here. So just it's been awesome. I know Ryan. We really were pumped to have you on, especially at the tournament, eh, Ryan?
Oh, it's super fun. Yeah, no, like going back to like the just quickly the social media thing. I remember like years ago, I used to try to like I don't know want to figure out what's going on with the players and what's going on with the schedules and see the highlights that people are posting and whatever. So I follow a lot of players and I've done it over the years and um, they were all on Twitter and now like with you guys the O6s like there's barely any on Twitter so I had to up my game and start using Instagram a little bit. I don't really know what I'm doing on there yet, but I'm
Ryan,
an
you're
old
showing your
yeah,
guy.
age. Ryan, you're
I'm an
showing your
old
age.
guy, so
yeah,
um, I still remember the days like when like parents got on Facebook and ruined it. And but yeah, anyways, it's social media is like it's always evolving, right? Like so like it's always whatever. There's always gonna be new ones coming out, whatever. So whenever you guys are
yeah,
talking about social media, I always find that stuff interesting. But
yeah.
Porter, I mean, like unbelievable talking to you. It's a great chat and great to catch up with you after the Silver Stick. Congratulations, I mean, on the win, and you got 2 big ones under your belt so far this year in Markham and in Whitby. So that's awesome. And yeah, just like, thanks for coming on the pod, and just want to wish you like the very best of luck at the OHL draft and with the rest of the year.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm sure I'll probably see you guys around the rink a couple more times. But thanks for having me on this podcast.
Yeah,
Awesome. Yeah,
absolutely.
you're
You'll
welcome.
definitely see us at some more JRC games for sure. All right, and we are back from our interview with star forward Porter Martone from the Toronto Junior Canadiens U16 AAA program. And oh my goodness, Ryan, what a player Porter Martone is. He's been on a heater. I know he mentioned in the interview he was kind of cold, a bit cold to start it. He mentioned to us, but my goodness, did he not? He did not slow down once he got going in that tournament, and he was just. He's on that team. The biggest thing that I noticed with him is that shot. Honestly, that shot and his scoring ability. His ability to finish from outside, from like distance, but also finish in tight. Where honestly, watching him, he's got that lovely move where he just on the power play, especially, just kind of curls around that dot, and it comes in, curls, takes advantage of that space, and just rips it. And that's good. Lord help the goalies, because once he's shooting the puck, there's almost no chance they're stopping that puck, Ryan.
That shot release is unbelievable. Like it's at the top of the draft class in terms of that shot release, that firecracker snapper, just boom, it pops off the stick. I remember that game against Niagara. Got 2 goals in the third period from kind of the slot area outside the top of the circle, kind of just ripped it. And like, it hits the twine, like it looks like it's going to break through the net. It's just unbelievable. Like, and he was coming in with speed and with power and like really dominant looking goals, like really, really nice. And like his skating, like he's got a lot of power, like a lot of like that momentum he's able to bring in and then just rip those shots. It's awesome to watch. He's just kind of like overwhelms you with that, eh?
No, absolutely. And to your point, when you mentioned his strong body there, when he's down low in the corners and down low below the goal line and deep in the offensive zone, he's tough to contain. Like he uses his strength effectively to really maintain that puck, protect it effectively, and kind of just create more space for himself. If he doesn't have the puck and he's getting in on a forecheck, he'll use his body, he'll lay a hit, and he'll cause havoc down low there, and then have the D turn the puck over, and he's happy to take possession of that puck and get the JRC offense going in that regard with him in that respect there. But his overall, we talk about his offensive game, but his overall game in terms of two-way aspects is a really strong game as well. Defensively, he's trusted by his coaching staff in various situations. I've seen him play the PK so many times where he just puts himself in good lanes, kind of moves himself into good positions. He's got that active stick where he can block the passing lanes, intercept pucks. But that two-way game is something that can't be missed with him, I think, as well, right?
Definitely. Like, and you mentioned like him working off like down low, like off the cycle. He's really good at protecting the puck, keeping guys on his back. And like while he's doing it, he could like have a guy on his back and like, he's still got full control, able to make a pass. Like he's just so powerful, and he's really like aware of where the defenders are when they're on him. Like he's really good at protecting the puck. And that line, like we mentioned it before this in the group analysis, that like overall as a whole, they're all good at that. Like they all work hard and they're all getting after it, laying the body and all that. You mentioned his two-way game. So, I mean, yeah, like I don't need to go too much further into it. Like I think we've covered him pretty well here. Like he's a really good, complete overall player. And I mean, just a joy to watch. Like he's been on fire. Like his line has been great. So it was awesome. We got a chance to talk to him and ask him about his game, because I mean, like he's a guy that for me, he's just like surging up my draft board right now.
Oh, like you put that perfectly, Ryan. I mean, honestly, just talking to him, he gave us the in-depth like responses, the intelligence, the maturity he has. It's just phenomenally. Yeah, and he also just loves the game, which I love to see. He enjoys playing with his teammates. He loved talking about, playing with Van Volsen and Tersini and how they have that chemistry together, which you love to see. And he's just a teammate. He's the type of guy where you love having him as a teammate, which is great to see in terms of character off the ice and off the ice, and not just on the ice, but away from the rink as well. Who you love to play with. And he sets guys up. He puts the puck in the net. I mean, what's not to love with this player? He's just a phenomenal talent. And honestly, we're so thankful to have him on the podcast in that respect. So honestly, we've talked about him so much, and we talked about, it was such a great interview honestly one of the best interviews. It was a great interview in that respect. So we'll jump into the next player we got the chance to talk to from the JRC, that championship winning team, and Michael Hage. Oh, what a player. Great interview as well with this player. One of the top players in the draft as well. So without further ado, Ryan, here's our interview with JRC forward Michael Hage. All right, we are now joined on the U16 pod by star forward from the Toronto Junior Canadiens U16 AAA program, Michael Hage. Michael, how's it going?
Good, you. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. We're pumped to have you on. I mean, we saw you first in draft day in the summer, and we saw you silver stick this past weekend, lighting up there. I mean, in Whippy, you had 8 points in the tournament, helping your team take the championship there. Can you talk to us about how that tournament was for not just yourself, but your team as well there?
I think obviously we had a great tournament, and we were just trying to keep on getting better every single game. And obviously we had a couple of close calls in the round robin. Waterloo gave us a pretty good game. That's credit to them. They played hard. They played a good defensive system. And, I think our goaltender kept us in that one. And, without that win, it'd probably be hard for us to make it through. So, but our round robin went pretty well. And obviously our last round robin game, we had Niagara, who's obviously a great team. They got some really skilled guys on that roster. And I think we played a pretty good game, but, obviously we had a couple costly mistakes that their guys capitalized on. But on to the quarterfinals, we played Vaughan. We played a pretty good game. And I think that, we were up early and we kind of took our foot off the gas, but they got back in that game and we took it to overtime. And obviously Musi buried that OT winner and selling pretty hard there. And that was a pretty big selly.
Yeah.
Thoughts are on that, but our semifinal game was versus Ajax. Obviously they're on a high after that big win versus Quinte, and they're a good team. They work hard. I think that we came out really hard that game. Their goaltender kind of kept them in it, and our guys kind of just stuck to the system, bought in, and bared down, and we took that one 4-0, I think.
Yep.
And, obviously the Sens game, that was a huge game. Just all the hype, and I think they got a ton of great players on that side. Good coaching, good goaltending, and I think our coaches just kind of give us a game plan every game that lets us use our skill and gives us a chance to kind of win every game and be in every game. So I think all the boys kind of just bought in, worked hard, and obviously going into intermission, we were down 2-1, but we kind of just stuck with it. We got a couple good bounces that got us back in that game, and obviously Porter scored on that 5-on-3 power play. That was a pretty nice goal.
That's sick. I mean, just that whole tournament was unreal for you guys. And I mean, you talked about that OT winner there in the quarters from Muse. And I got to say, I saw a post on Instagram where someone posted one of the highlights from one of the games. And they talked about, you guys got to work on your sellies a bit there. You guys just kind of, what do you think you guys' sellies there a bit?
I saw that. I just don't think, Musie's just sellies hard every time he scores, no matter what. So I don't know. I don't think his sellies are that bad, but I still think Porter has the best sellies on the team right now.
Yeah.
Work on those in practice once in a while.
There's definitely a lot of selling going on when you guys are playing though, with the way you guys put the puck in the net. I mean, so it's like I said as well, at the start of the year when I talked to Henry, he's like, I asked him what song you guys play after you win. He said Cash's Die Hard, and I said after, I was like, you guys definitely play that song a lot with the way you guys win in the season, not just in the G, but in tourney as well. Because I mean, now you guys are 2 for 2 in tourney, so quite the roll here you guys are on to start the year. But I mean, we'll jump into kind of your game here, which, I mean, just first off, you're so incredibly skilled. I mean, the skill you have is just unreal. I mean, we've seen you have the confidence to try the lacrosse move, and in draft day, you scored with it. I mean, where do you get the confidence from? Where do you get this confidence from, and how do you like to use your skill in the game?
I think just, practicing it over the years, just practicing different skill in my basement, or whether it's at a skill session or at practice, there's no point in just saving it for practice. So, I mean, I think on that play, the lacrosse goal, I don't know if it was Spencer Lowe that gave me the puck and kind of went behind the net. And I had some times where I was kind of just like, why not try it now? There's no better time. Obviously, I kind of blacked out. I didn't really remember what happened too much. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just comes from a lot of practice and, trusting your abilities once it comes to a game.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think the fact that your coaching staff in games gives you kind of that freedom? Because it looks like watching you guys on the JRC, you guys look like you have a lot of freedom to kind of take chances and risks. Do you think that plays a role in a lot of that?
Yeah, I think our coaching staff, obviously we got great coaches, and they obviously put in a really great system, which gives us a chance to win every game, dominate games down low, and, play every type of style. And obviously they're not going to stop us from being creative when we have the puck, because that's what it's kind of all about, right? That's how you create offense. They put in place a system for us. We kind of buy in, and then once it comes to the offensive side of the puck, there's a structure, but obviously they want us to be creative and use our skill to create offense and score nice goals, stuff like that.
Absolutely. It's funny hearing that kind of aspect, because when we talked to Cal Ritchie and Nick Lardis last year from the 05 Oakville Rangers, with the amount of skill and talent they had. Ryan, I'm sure you'll echo this sentiment, but they said the exact same thing with the amount of freedom they had and the creativity they were able to play with that respect, Ryan.
I love it. I love it. I don't like when coaches restrict players, especially in minor hockey. It's all about development, right? So being able to practice that stuff, that's what it's all about. And Connor and I, people like us, we love it. And getting it more into your game, Connor talked about your skill. But also you're such a great passer, with your ability to distribute the puck. Also when you receive passes, it's so smooth. You have such a great cradle, and you kind of take the puck in, and awesome puck skills, as well as your finish. You consistently finish when you get your chances. Can you talk to us a bit about how you what you've done to develop these aspects of your game that make you so high end overall?
I think the finishing part kind of just comes from ever since I've been young. I've been practicing shooting pucks in my basement, and I've been getting a lot of chances, and you try to see what other guys that are good do to score goals and their teammates. And I think what I like to do is just look at what works for guys that are at the next level, and they're just so good, and they're obviously better than you right now. So I try to pick and choose different skills from their game and try to use it in my own game to just improve every day. And for the passing part, I think it just kind of comes from practicing with older guys from a young age. I think just they're snapping passes at you and the puck will go under your stick and they're kind of getting rattled at you. So I'm like, what do you want me to do here? And they'll kind of show me how to take a pass on my backhand, or how to just they want me to pass harder where they want me to be on the ice to get open. I think that's just kind of helped me a lot, knowing where to go to score more goals, and setting up my teammates and stuff like that.
No, that's awesome. I gotta ask a follow-up on the cradle. So okay, so you have an unbelievable cradle. Just in terms of if someone gives you the puck, it can throw you a hot pass. It could be in your feet, it could be anywhere. And it always seems to whether you kick it up or whether you grab it with your stick or get it with your backhand or whatever it is, you always get it up to your stick and you get your head up really, really fast. How have you got that? How have you been able to just handle the puck so well and get that cradle so good? Is it just natural, or?
I think it's just been since when I was younger. I used to go to Hollycrest Middle School, which was just a hockey school, and I was at Journey to Excel, and we would just work a lot on just taking bad passes, whether it was in your feet or on your backhand. And because, they would tell us you're at the next level, your centerman will give you a pass on the wall. He doesn't care if it's in your feet or not. You have to find a way to pick that pass up, because if the puck just goes by your stick 3 or 4 times in a game, he's not going to give you that puck anymore, especially if you're a rookie at the next level, you don't get that many chances. So it's just kind of the difference between getting 1 or 2 rushes with the puck in a game, or 3 or 4 just because you could pick up a pass in your feet and stuff like that. I think it just also comes from after practice once in a while, you know, our coach will let us do whatever we want. I kind of just go work on taking really hard pass on my backhand or pucks in my feet, stuff like that, bouncing pucks.
Honestly, like it blows my mind how you're able to like handle those pucks and like it's clear that like that's a great answer. Like I love that answer. I love that insight in your game because it's such a big part of your game. Like just your puck control, your cradle, the ability to get it up to your stick. Like if it's a terrible pass, like you get it up to your stick, you got your head up and you're ready to make a play in like no time. And I mean, it's awesome to watch. But getting into like maybe like some things you're developing and working on, like are there areas of your game you place an emphasis on developing, like and getting better at, like as like you've been going on with like your minor hockey career?
I think just I'm always trying to become a better skater. So I skate with Don Braid actually, and I just you can never be too fast, and no one's a perfect skater, right? So I just try to improve my skating and keep getting better at that every day. And just obviously my stick handling and my shooting, right? Getting stronger, just continuing to work out, because once you go to the next level, you're not just playing against guys your age and playing against that's 6'4", 200 pounds, right? So you have to be ready for that. And I think just getting stronger and just working on my skating.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that's great. Like, I mean, like such a good way to put it too, like in terms of thinking about that next level, thinking about what you got to do to be ready for that next level. Like Connor and I would both agree, like you're going to be like a superstar rookie at the next level, and the fact that you're thinking about that and preparing for it, like that's awesome, eh, Connor?
No, it just highlights kind of the maturity that you have, which is
Yeah.
remarkable at your age, especially. And I mean, just to have that mindset that you have, I think any team will value that immensely with that respect. I mean, earlier you also talked about kind of watching other guys and watching how they do things and taking them and implementing it into your game. Are there any NHL players you modeled your game after?
I think I try to model my game after a guy like Matt Barzal or Jack Hughes, just the way they, you know, carry the puck, make guys around them better, set guys up, and obviously when they get chances, they're pretty skilled guys and they can put the puck in the back of the net. But I don't think I just pick one guy to model my game after. I think I try to pick and choose different aspects of guys' games what they're good at. Like I look at Austin Matthews, where he goes on the ice, how he releases the puck, stuff like that. Obviously, like you can't really overlook like McDavid skating, how fast he is, stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just having that aspect of those little things, spotting those little things, because obviously a lot of people will notice like the goal scoring and point totals and all that, but having that mindset of looking at kind of what you mentioned there with Matthews and where he goes on the ice, just those little things, I think how ultimately helps you get to the next level, which is remarkable. I mean, just jumping away a bit from in terms of the game itself, like in-game stuff. Before the game, do you have any superstitions or pre-game routines for yourself that you got to do?
I don't think I have too many superstitions, but I think I always have to be in the back seat of the car on the way to the game. I'm always in the back right seat of the car for some reason. I don't know. I just can't play well. And I think I just get to the rink, put my warm-up gear on. I have to tape my stick like before the second period on the game before us is over. And other than that, I think just when all the boys are kind of getting fired up for a pre-game song, I try to find a little chair and I just sit down and think about what I'm going to do out there. And then I have a little handshake with Porter, and that's about it.
Nice. That's awesome. I love those little intricacies there and all that kind of fun stuff. It's awesome to see, and I think Ryan and I love getting those little intricate details of what players like to do. Especially I like hearing that kind of backseat car, sit in the back right seat of the car there. Just something that makes you kind of unique there as a player, and I think Ryan and I love that, eh?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Like I always love that question. I love asking about superstitions, and it's fun. Like everyone's different, right? Like I don't know, like every time I don't know, I don't feel so overly superstitious. I feel like I don't know, it's weird. I like even when I'm talking about goalies, like I'll say the shutout word, I'm like, oh, he's got a shutout going, and it's like people are like, no, don't say that. Like, but like I don't know, I don't feel like superstitious. Like I don't feel like life is about luck and that sort of stuff. But a lot of people do, and especially in hockey. So I got to be careful what I say. But anyways, like to get into like stuff about you and like you personally, like we've talked a lot about your game and whatever, but to get to know you off the ice a little bit, um, in school, like do you have a favorite subject and a least favorite subject that you like to, I don't know, like what do you like in school and what do you don't like?
I think our school is kind of like a sports school. So right now we go to school and we go on the ice in the morning. So I got to go with gym. You know, we work out with all the boys. We go on the ice, have fun. So I think that's going to be my favorite subject. And I think my least favorite subject, I'm going to go with science. I just can't figure it out. Like it just complicates me too much. Different numbers and just like, it just keeps getting more complicated every year.
Yeah, exactly. Like honestly, I think you're just like me in that sense. Like gym, obviously, like okay, let's go play sports. Let's learn about whatever physical stuff, whatever. Like I'm down for that. In gym class, like I love that as a like that was like a billion years ago now, but science, I could never figure it out. I had to give up on science in like grade 11, and I ended up doing like maths and like English and like whatever other kind of electives I could do. Like I just avoided science like the plague. So like I totally relate to you on that. It's tough to figure out, right? Like I mean, some people got the brain for it, some people don't, right?
Yeah. It's just,
Yeah.
I feel like it's just a lot of memorization. That's just not really my thing.
Yeah, it's you still got the I guess you still got the general science one, right? You're not necessarily having to pick like the biochemistry
Yeah.
or physics yet.
And then after that, it's optional, right? For the
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember grade 10, I think we did dissection for the first time. I was not for that at all. I was get that stuff away from me. I was like, I picked someone else who was smarter with that stuff. I was like, okay, you do that. I'll write whatever you need me to write down and
Yeah.
just get that away from me. But
Yeah.
science, I was the kid for science class cramming for stuff, and my parents would be like, "What are you doing? Like, focus, like, start studying for that." I was like, "Okay," but like, I'm in the same boat as you. Science is not my thing. I'd rather do something. I'd rather do gym than science in that respect.
Uh, no, I wish I knew more about that kind of stuff, but I mean, I don't know. Now I'm an accountant and yeah, so anyways, I definitely like just avoided science like the plague. But anyways, more stuff in your personality here. This is like a totally opposite question of what we just asked. It's a fun one here. And I've never seen this one before. Connor came up with a new one here for you. If you could eliminate one job or chore you have to do from home, what would you eliminate?
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
Definitely, I think taking out the garbage is just because I wake up in the morning, I'm just exhausted. I'm just trying to make breakfast or eat breakfast if it's ready. And like to go take out the garbage is like, come on, it's freezing outside. I'm not trying to do that right now. So I think probably taking out the garbages I would have to take out.
Are you a big morning guy or more later in the day kind of person?
No, I'm not a big morning guy.
Yeah, I'm in that same boat. I'd rather sleep half the day away and then stay up all night than wake up early in the morning type thing. Taking the
Yeah.
garbage out.
I get woken up at 7:15 and Michael, are you coming down? It's like I check my clock, it's 8:05. Oh my god. School starts in 20 minutes. It's brutal.
That's exactly like me. My mom, when I was in high school, she'd wake me up first because I'd always oversleep my alarms. So she'd
Yeah.
wake me up at like she'd come into my room at 7:30, pop the light on, tell me to get up. And then I'd be like half awake and be like half asleep, and then she'd leave. It'd be like 8:10, and my school starts like 15 minutes from now. So I'd like rush, I'd sprint. I'd be the kid sprinting down the street to school just because I did not want to get up. So
Yeah.
it's definitely not my thing, but I mean, no one likes taking out the garbage anyways either. So, and then another fun one here for you. What is one object or item you own that you could not live without?
It's a tough one. I think I gotta go with my hockey stick just because you can't really play without it, and I'm a pretty picky guy, so I think if you got me another one, it would just be rough. Like,
Are you a
Yeah.
guy? Are you a guy that's really picky with like the type of stick, the curve you got, and all that? Or
Yeah, the specs and all that.
I can't play with like other sticks. Like even if it's the same stick, it's not taped like the knob the same way I tape it. And a lot of guys on my team like kind of chirp me for my knob just because it's just a really like big knob, and a lot of the guys just like, how do you use this?
Not gonna lie. Porter Martone, we had him on the pod just a little bit ago, and he was making fun of you for it a little bit. Like it's you got like do you just like the way it feels, like kind of with stick handling and whatever? Like you can't live without that. Yeah.
I've been tweaking it a lot, like ever since I think it started in the summer. I was using the same thing, and it was like, it just kind of felt, I think I had one bad like spring hockey game, so I decided to change it up. And then I just like this, like I would do like 15 laps around, and then like 3 or 4 layers of grip tape, and it was just like a massive knob, and I just kind of stuck with it.
that's awesome. I like hearing that, especially the boys chirp you a bit, but if it works, it works. So it's like why change it type stuff. So
Exactly.
Just try to not fix what's not broken.
exactly. So and then last one for you here. We haven't asked this one in a while. We asked this to a lot of the 05 boys. Would you rather snipe or dangle?
Like dangle the goalie.
Yeah, even if it's like a dangle up ice or whatever, and then you score on the goalie, but it's like just a straight shot, like snipe on the goalie, or like a dangle up ice, or even dangle on the goalie.
I think I gotta go with dangle. Just on the highlight reel, it just looks way sicker.
Yeah, you're definitely doing a lot of dangling on the ice too, especially. And I know that there's going to be a lot of highlights put up on the Insta, the Twitter, and all that fun stuff. So we're definitely there's no shortage of highlights, especially with the dangle. So thank you for providing the highlights, especially. And just as we wrap up here, we've taken a lot of your time. So just thanks so much for coming on the pod, and best of luck at the tournaments the rest of the year. Best of luck with the rest of the G season. Best of luck at the GTHL Top Prospects game, because we know you're in that one too. So congrats on that, and best of luck at the OHL draft, Michael. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me on, guys.
All right, there was our interview with forward Michael Hage. Oh, what a player Michael Hage is! Just a stud of a player, man. I mean, we talked about with him, just a phenomenal interview, man. I mean, talking to him, we mentioned it. You brought it up perfectly when talking about its cradle with his stick. When I first saw him play, that was one of the things that stood out. Just that translatable skill where he's able to take bad passes or hard passes and take them so smoothly. I mean, I remember watching the Mighty Ducks movies in Gordon Bombay, cradle the puck, using the egg and cradle the puck type thing. And I feel like if he shot an egg to Michael Hage, that egg would not break when it hits his stick. It's just the way he handles the puck, Ryan. It's just his puck skills are unreal.
Not a chance. Like they won't break. Like he's so smooth, and the cradle's wicked. Like I mean, you throw a pass anywhere into his body, wherever it's on his stick, and he's got his head up, and he hasn't broke his stride. Like he's so fast, such a good skater. I think his balance and stability on his skates is a big thing. Like very, very sure of himself, very good edges, like unbelievable skater, one of the top skaters in the draft. And that skill is so high end. Like I know, like we've mentioned this before a bunch of times, but I gotta bring it up. Like we were both there for that draft day goal when he did the lacrosse move, and he can do everything. He can dangle. Like he's just so highly skilled and such a good skater, and with excellent body control, puck skills, all that stuff. He's one of the top players in the draft. Like surefire first rounder for me. Unbelievable player, right?
It's undeniable. It's undeniable, Ryan. Like to your point about kind of the lacrosse goal there, when we brought it up with him, he's got that hockey IQ and that maturity too as well, where he understands the situational stuff. Where you mentioned, I had that space and it was, the opportunity presented itself, and he went for it and he capitalized on it. But he has that hockey IQ. He knows where to put himself he knows to put himself in good spots in the ice where he can make things happen. He can get the puck, and then he can make things happen with the puck with his incredible talent. So just having that hockey sense. I remember back to our Cal Ritchie, Nick Lardis interview where they both talked about how, hey, when we're going to try these little decent angles, we have the freedom to do it, but we also know that, hey, maybe it's not the right time to do it at this moment. Maybe if we're down by a goal, maybe we should try to go for the actual sure goal and not be all fancy. But hey, if we're up by a bit, or hey, if the opportunity presents itself, let's go for it. And I see that same maturity and intelligence in Michael there, which is incredible to see, especially at his age, to have that maturity. He's got a really great all-around game too, I must say. Like, he sets his teammates up really well, and he puts himself in good spots defensively where he's trusted in those different aspects of the game, in that respect. But his finishing ability, I was impressed with his puck distribution early on, but now as the season goes on, I'm seeing that goal scoring and that finishing ability, whether it's a shot from sort of the dot or the face-off circle there, or in tight where he's got that those quick hands where he can just roof it on the goalie in tight. And he's got just all around aspects, offensively and defensively, that you love there, eh?
Yeah, like with his skill and with his skating, he can create like a lot of space to make plays, whether it's like a pass or to create space for a shot. But yeah, like he's just an unbelievable player, like 200-foot player, plays all the zones well. And yeah, like I mentioned before, like surefire first rounder, like he's in the conversation to go as like possibly the top pick. Like he's really good. I think he's the type of player that like let's say an OHL team, their fan base, they kind of they're looking at the new guys that are coming in, and they're at training camp, and they're looking through the roster, and then they hit the ice and they start skating around. They're gonna be like, oh man, I love this Michael Hage. They'll be writing on notes, they'll be tweeting, they'll be freaking out. Like I think he's unbelievable. So can't emphasize that enough. Like I think he's the real deal, right?
Oh, honestly, I couldn't agree more with you. And honestly, honestly, his teammates love him too. And I love how he talked about his teammates chirping him for his tape jobs here and there too. Love those little aspects of it.
Yeah.
He's a great person off the ice as well, and a great teammate. So just unbelievable getting to talk to him. And honestly, again, we can't thank him enough. So congrats to him and Porter again for that big win, that tournament win, the silver stick there. So
Yeah,
we'll jump into our next interview here, Ryan. We got the chance to talk to the OT winner, the player who scored the OT winning goal for the Ajax Pickering Raiders in that unreal 8 overtime game there. Sean Doherty from the Ajax Pickering Raiders. Oh my goodness, crazy game, but we'll get into that. We got into it with him. So without further ado, here's the interview with Sean Doherty.
All right, we're here with Sean Doherty, star forward from the Ajax Pickering Raiders U16 AAA program. Sean, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. Like a long weekend and week at the Silver Stick there. And I mean, congrats on an excellent performance. You're unreal in the tournament and really impressed us a lot. And like before we get into the tournament and all that, we gotta ask, first question, how did it feel to score that goal in extra OT over Quinte to advance your team into the semifinal there?
Yeah, it felt pretty good. That's like a rival in our league right now, so I think it's us and them probably fighting for the top spot at the end of the year. So it was good to know that we can beat them.
That's unreal. And I mean that it took like multiple times to figure out like how many overtimes it was, just because it went on for so long. And the fact that it went from 5-on-5 to 4-on-4 to 3-on-3 and 2-on-2. Like, how exhausted were you by the end of that game?
Oh yeah, I was so tired. I think my coaches the next day told me I played like 45 minutes that day, that game. So I was like, yeah, it was a rough one for sure.
I don't even think, how often do you think you guys would even practice that type of thing where you have to play 2-on-2 hockey in that kind of a format there?
Yeah, honestly, in practice, sometimes we goof around a little at the end. So we had a little bit of like practice on what we were doing, but nothing too serious.
Me just watching it, I felt exhausted watching you guys. Like I could see everyone just, even when someone have a breakaway or something, it's like, oh God, I don't think this guy's gonna make it, because everyone's so tired, and watching you guys go back and forth and just the elation you guys had was just unreal. So I know Ryan and I were both there, and Ryan, you'll agree with me, that was just unreal watching you pot that in overtime.
It was a special day. It was that goal was unbelievable, but it was a special day for your team. I mean, you guys got up early in the morning, you shut out the Marlies. You played great team defense overall. Like that's something I really noticed about your team is you guys are really gelling well as a group. Like I bet after that win in the quarters against Quinte, like you probably had you were probably pretty excited, had a bit of a celebration there, and like you feel like the tournament, like I mean those successes you had, like that win over the Marlies, Quinte, big teams, like did that like really boost your confidence as a group, you think?
Oh yeah, 100%. It also really brought us together as a team because we were struggling early on in the season, and we knew we had more left in us, and that just like assured us that we can do it.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, no, I figured like it's nothing like that, like to bring a team together, like having those successes and winning as a group, which you guys did. That's great. And I mean to get into your game individually and like kind of away from the silver stick and all that excitement, but we just want to talk to you about your game. Like the first thing that I really noticed is you're a really strong skater with a powerful stride. I watched a home game, a league game against Barrie, and you were flying. Like you always are fast, but for some reason in that game you had like your kick was just unbelievable. So like it was awesome to watch you skate. Like you were so quick. Also like really agile and great acceleration, smooth on your edges. Like what's been key for you developing as a skater with that good jump and kick and get up and all that?
Well, I just try and focus on more now, just like my speed, try and keep it up to date. I go to 3 zones a lot. I've been going
Okay.
to them since I was 4. They've really helped me with like power and moving side to side, turning quick edges and stuff like that. So I think that just gives me the confidence to do it in the game. And I know I can do it in the game if I can do it there. So
Oh, definitely. Like skating, probably the most important thing overall for a prospect at your age. And you're a great skater, and like I think it's really going to translate at the next level. Like especially if you keep working on it and improving it. Like I know Connor would agree with me. You're one of the better skaters in the draft overall for speed and that side to side stuff. It's awesome, eh, Connor?
Oh, no, absolutely. And I mean, speaking of the skating, I mean, we saw it on the overtime goal too, when you kind of curled
Mhm.
around and cut middle. And then that kind of gave us a segue into my next point here, where you had that shot and you showed us your shot, which is another thing that jumps out at both of us. I mean, just your powerful shot and the way you're able to wire the puck with such velocity. I mean, how have you developed such a great shot trigger? And what are some things you look to do when coming down on goalies there?
well, my dad always tells me before the game to look at the open spot. So when I'm shooting, I always try to do that. I'm like, oh, hopefully my dad doesn't say, "Oh, why'd you shoot it in the goalie's glove?" I did that. I did that a couple of times in the overtime, like right in the guy's glove, and I knew my dad was gonna was gonna critique me on that one after the game, so I had to pot one in there.
Awesome.
That's awesome. I mean, just it's funny. It's funny you mentioned how like just putting in a goalie's like glove. When I used to play, one of my teammates, whenever he would like shoot the puck and he like hit the goalie straight in like the chest, his dad would yell from the stands, "Come on, the goalie's not Swiss cheese." So he'd always yell that at him because he'd always hit him right in the chest. But I love that kind of little critiques there. And then
That,
obviously,
that that was like my dad. He'd be like, he always had this spot up in the corner, and if I shot it in the chest, I'd hear it while I was on the ice. He wouldn't even wait till after the game.
Yeah,
absolutely.
my dad's he's definitely like that too. I think he's calming down a little bit now, but he used to definitely say that when I was younger. So it's good to at least he tells me after the game now.
That's awesome. Would you say he's like one of your biggest supporters though, even though he gives you those critiques too?
Yeah, 100%. He's been with me through everything basically. He works. I work out with him in my basement a lot. So
Oh, cool.
and he was a pretty good athlete too. So I think he gives me lots of good advice. So
Wow.
I think that's pretty good.
That's awesome. So I guess the athletic gene's kind of there too, I guess, as well. So which brings me into the next question here. Is you bring such a strong physical presence as well on the ice. How do you find you're able to utilize kind of that physicality to your advantage in various situations there?
Well, I think it helps me a lot because I was able to push that guy off me in the OT winner there. and it just helped me create a lot of space for myself to get the shot off. So I think if I wasn't as strong as I am and as powerful, I don't think I would have been able to get that goal. So it helps me a lot.
That's such a perfect point there. Just you having that mindset of using your strength to your advantage to ultimately open up more time and space for yourself, which then gives you that opportunity to utilize that dangerous shot in various situations, which I know Ryan and I have talked about on multiple occasions. Just players who have that physicality and that strength to be able to utilize that, it just opens up so much more space, eh, Ryan?
Oh yeah, no, like you're really strong, and with your strength, like combine that with your great feet, you pushed them off, and you got that quick couple steps to get that space you need, and getting that space you need is really important, like especially at the next level. I think you're a prospect that, like, the more we watch you, the more we're like loving your game. And like we've talked a lot about the aspects of your game we like in particular, and gone into some detail here. But like, if you had 3 words yourself to describe yourself as a player, what would you choose and why?
Well, the 3 words, first off, I think I'd pick playmaker, explosive, and a sniper.
Oh,
Um, I think I'm a playmaker because I set up a lot of plays with the other things that I do with the speed. I'm able to create the plays and look for guys, which also the speed also helps me with that. So that's what I think I do well. I think I'm explosive. I've I've been blown by some guys this year, which is pretty good. So
Yeah.
so it gives me confidence, and I think I was lacking confidence coming into the year, and the speed just helped me regain that.
That's great. That's great. Like, I mean, the explosiveness, we've talked about that. That power, that first 2 strides is a huge strength, and it's clear you've worked hard on that. And this sniper, like, I mean, we saw that in that game-winning goal. You got a lot of goals in the tournament, and like I've seen you get some pretty good ones this year. So you got that quick shot release. Like, we haven't talked about your shot too much, but that shot release is great. And playmaker, I love too, because with your speed, you're able to create a lot of different scoring chances. And like, I find you're a very like unselfish player. Like, you use your teammates. You shoot when you're supposed to. Kind of like, I never really see you make a play where it's like, oh, what was he thinking there? He should have passed that, or he should have shot that. Like, you seem to kind of have a good hockey IQ, and I think that shows in your playmaking. That and like the unselfishness. So that's great stuff. Really good to get that insight from you. So to the NHL, are there any guys in the show you model your game after?
I think I like Patrick Kane a lot. My dad says I play like him a lot, so I've been watching him a little more this year. So he said I've got like the vision like him, and he wants me to keep on improving that. And he says I'm pretty shifty, and so is Kane. So I think Kane's a pretty good example.
Yeah. Yeah, quick side-to-side movements, really high hockey IQ, good playmaker. I mean, yeah, he's unbelievable. But yeah, like, I see those similarities. What do you think, Connor? Probably.
Oh, no, those
Yeah.
similarities are absolutely there. I mean, that's like a perfect comparison there, just with the playmaking, like you mentioned, Ryan, just the perfect points there. That's an unreal player to kind of model your game after and have a comparison there too. So that's great to hear. But I mean, we'll pivot here and jump into some kind of more fun questions here, get to know you a bit. So first one here, what would be your go-to pregame meal?
Um, I like pasta a lot, so I've been eating pasta a lot. If it's in the morning, like the last couple of games have been during the silver stick, I think I had a couple of boiled eggs and peanut butter on a bagel, which I think helped a lot just because just get something in my stomach was pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, with those early morning games, are you much of a like a morning person, or would you rather kind of have the later game?
Yeah, I think I'm a later game kind of guy. I'm not a good morning person. I think I need my sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm in the exact same boat. Today I had to wake up for some meeting or something for school, and I was like right after it went off, the meeting ended, went right back to sleep. I was like, gosh, these early morning stuff is just not for me either. So that's great, kind of there in that aspect. And I mean, the pregame meal is kind of like a healthy thing to get you going. But I'll get kind of a little bit of junk food here from you. Is there a fast food restaurant that you really like to go to when you get the chance? Obviously,
Chick-fil-A probably. I think I've been going to Yorkdale a bit
Oh,
just
yeah.
for Chick-fil-A, so it's pretty good. I
nice.
have a big meal from there every once in a while.
Yeah, everybody's got to have a cheat day every once in a while. Like, you got to live life a little bit, right?
Yeah.
That's sick. And then another one for you here. What is your favorite non-hockey sports league?
The PGA.
Yeah,
I think
Sick.
I've been playing golf probably all my life too. So I like golfing a lot. I golf a lot in the summer. I played a couple tournaments, so I think PGA is definitely up there for sure.
you got a favorite golfer there?
Rory McIlroy.
Oh,
He's slowing down a little bit, but he used to be pretty good.
That's a good pick. I like him. You're right. You're right. He slowed down a bit, but when he was like really good, he was really good. That's
yeah.
all right. How's I know you said you've been in a couple tournaments here and there. What's your golf game look like? Is it probably above average, you think?
Uh, yeah, I'd say it's above average. I think my best round this year was even. Not in the tournament, but I think that was a pretty good round, a pretty good accomplishment
Yeah.
for me this year.
Jeez, that's better than my scores. Jeez. Gosh, even if I got close to that, I'd be celebrating. That's unreal to have that kind of skill. And golf's such a game. It's such a mental game too. Just to be able to, because anything can happen in golf. I mean, one bad shot and it's kind of you got to move on to the next shot. So having that kind of in your arsenal there, that's massive. Just with the mental aspect that has there. But I mean, we'll jump into the last one here for you. Another fun one. What's your favorite movie or TV show?
Ooh, my favorite movie is probably Central Intelligence. I think I just like the Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart duo there. It's pretty fun to watch.
Oh, those guys are hilarious, especially with just the utter like difference between the two of them. The fact that he's so small and Dwayne
Yeah.
Johnson's so large, it's like, and they argue so much, but they get along so well. The comedic duo that they are is just hilarious. So that's such a good pick there with Central Intelligence. I mean, just that's awesome. I mean, those two guys are hilarious, but I don't think you could pick a better movie with that aspect. So that's awesome. But just wrapping up here, just thanks so much for coming on, Sean. I mean, congratulations on an unbelievable silver stick there. Best of luck the rest of the season with Ajax. I know OHL Cup, the OHL just put out their OHL Cup rankings. You guys are number 10, so you guys are ready to just keep it going this season in the ETA. You got the ETA showcase as well. I mean, just best of luck there. Best of luck the rest of the season, and best of luck in the OHL draft. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me on the pod. Really enjoyed it. Hopefully get to do it again sometime.
All right, there was our interview with Sean Doherty, forward with the Ajax Pickering Raiders, and oh man, we had to ask him it, Ryan. We had to talk about it. That 8 overtime game, that unbelievable game that they had. Gosh, he talked to us about it, how he was just like it was exhausting, like that whole game. Like imagine 5-on-5 to 4-on-4, 3-on-3, 2-on-2, and to be able to score that, the energy he was feeling, just unbelievable. But he's aside from that OT goal, he's just an unbelievable player. I mean, just with we started off with just his mobility and the way it opens up so much space for him on the ice there.
Yeah, he's really fast, great mobility, great skater, um, exceptional skater. Like I remember I went and saw a league game and they were playing Barrie, and I remember like right after that on the next podcast we had, I talked about it. I was like, wow, this kid can flat out fly. Top speed is absolutely electric. Great skater, great player. And yeah, like it was great to talk to him about that because we were both there for those OTs against Quinte in that quarterfinal game. That was unbelievable, and I can't imagine like the feeling he had scoring that goal. That was such a big goal, huge moment. Wow, like he's just electric. He's always buzzing, always moving those feet, great skater, great mobility. Yeah, like unbelievable speed.
Yeah, and that sets him up so well for the next aspect of his game that we brought up with him as well, is that shot, that scoring ability, where you just to be able to move in that open space and have that, and then open that space up for yourself, and then shoot that puck and have that unreal release that he has, where it's just off his stick, it's quick, it's got velocity, it's powerful, and it's just he doesn't give goalies much time to set up with it, and he finds the spots and he hits the spots on the net. I loved how we talked about kind of not shooting it right in the goalie's chest, and he does not do that often. And once he gets his chances, he's able to capitalize with that shot he has and that finishing, which is great because that's something at the next level to be able to get into that open space and to capitalize is something that is huge because you don't get many chances at the next level, and to be able to finish on them, that's a massive thing that I think teams at the next level will love about him in that aspect of his game. But he's also just the power that he brings, the strength with his size as well, his ability to protect the puck when he's down low. When he's not using it off the rush, when he's not off using the speed off the rush, he's able to kind of play it, use his body and the strength effectively to move into that space where he ultimately is able to demonstrate that scoring ability. But that size and strength that he has is great, Ryan.
Yeah, definitely. Like great finisher, like you mentioned. I mean, these points that you're making, I think I couldn't have said it better myself. Like I love all that stuff. Yeah, no, I don't have too much to double up on because I think you pretty much nailed it. Like that was great, man.
Awesome
Awesome stuff. Like great finisher, great player. Awesome to catch up with them, especially after that big goal. And great kid, like awesome person. So it was great to meet him and great interview.
Honestly,
I think he's one to look out for. Like I mean, Ajax, a lot of their success is going to hinge on how he plays and how he does. Like he's kind of that key guy up front for them.
yeah, real like a play driver. He just really creates a
Play
lot
driver. Yeah,
in that aspect, which is something that's huge for them. And honestly, with these, we the first two interviews were phenomenal, and this one was also phenomenal. These players gave such in-depth like answers and responses, and gave us so much insight into the game. So honestly, they leave us with so little to say sometimes when they cover it so well. So honestly, just with his game, just a phenomenal player who's just gonna be an impactful player as Ajax progresses this year. They made an appearance in the most recent OHL Cup rankings there. So Ajax will be a team to watch with him leading the way there. So, but as we jump into our last interview, Ryan, that we had, I know this is a goaltender who you really love, Mike McIvor. What a goaltender! I love him because he's a southpaw too, with the right hand catching mitt there. So it was awesome. Great conversation with Mike. So honestly, without further ado, here's the interview with goaltender Mike McIvor from the Quinte Red Devils.
All right, we're here with Mike McIvor, star goalie from the Quinte Red Devils U16 AAA program. Mike, how are you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing pretty good, thanks. Like it's great to have you on. You're an unreal goalie, and you've had a lot of success so far this season. Like you recently at Silver Stick, you only had 1 goal against in 2 games played. You had a shutout a while back, the Lennon Tourney Finals, great tournament there. And before that, the Draft Day Showcase, you were a second-team All-Star with Team ETA, including a win in the semis against GTA. Like, you're on fire this year. Like, how have these experiences been for you?
I'll start with Draft Day. That was a great tournament. Best of the best, pretty much. I was on Team ETA. We went 3-1, and we played GTA first game of the tournament, and we knew like they had a stacked team, they had a stacked roster. We ended up losing that game 3-2, and then we went on a roll after that, 3 wins after that, and then we played them again in the semifinals. I also started that game.
Yep.
And we ended up winning 2-1. It was a hard fought game. It was very, very fast, high tempo, lots of energy. And then, yeah, we ended up winning that tournament. We played Ottawa in the finals. We beat them 6-4. And I haven't really had too much success in spring hockey. And that one was, we ended up winning. So that was really special. And to top it all off, I got the second team All-Star. So that meant a lot to me. And then the London tournament, it kind of went the same way. as the draft day. We lost the first game.
Yeah.
3-2 to Elgin, and we didn't look back after that. Then we saw them again in the finals, and then it was a kind of weird game. Like, it was a long weekend, so both teams weren't like at 100%. They were tired. They had, and so it was 0-0 going into the third period, and then we ended up getting a quick one, 5 minutes in the period, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And we just played our game, shut down D, not a lot of chances. And then it got kind of nerve-wracking at the end there. I'm pretty sure they had a 6-on-3. We took 2 penalties, and they pulled their goalie for extra man. And then, but we just did our thing, got pucks down, and we ended up winning that one.
Yeah, no, like unbelievable. Like you've had like an incredible start this year. It's been fun to watch you, and a lot of successes so far. Like, I mean, like even despite losing in the quarterfinals of the Silver Stick, like you only had like that 1 goal against in 2 games, and like second team All-Star draft day. Like, it's awesome stuff, and just awesome year so far. Before we got on here talking a little bit, you were talking about how you were a forward for a while, and then switched to goalie. So I'm gonna kind of switch this question up a little bit. Like, what inspired you to make that switch and drew you to want to become a goalie?
Yeah, this is definitely a funny story. So I always been a forward right up till minor Adam, and novice was like the first year at AAA. So I went to go play for Central Ontario Wolves, and we didn't have any success. We didn't get any points, no ties, no wins, no nothing. And then our goalie like ended up quitting, and we had like a small roster too. Like, it was pretty bad. And then I just I got his equipment on, and I just started playing goalie, and I guess I was a natural at it. And I ended up being pretty good. And then my great uncle, he also was a goalie.
Yeah.
And he wanted me to make the switch. And then I've always really not wanted to be a goalie, but I've always liked the idea of it. Like in mini six and stuff, I would always want to play goalie.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and then I ended up making Peterborough Pete's in minor Adam as a goalie after getting cut from Quinte in minor Adam. I tried out for Quinte, got cut as my first year goalie, then went to Peterborough for 2 years. And then I ended up playing with Ethan Toms in Peterborough. And then minor Pee Wee, I made Quinte as a goalie. And then that's the year we won OMHAs and all that. And I ended up getting MVP of the gold medal game. So that was pretty special. And then, yeah, I haven't really looked back since I was playing as a forward.
Oh man, that's super interesting. I don't know how many goalies that we've seen in AAA that were AAA forwards as well. That's pretty unusual, eh, Connor?
No, it's unreal. That story's kind of it's incredible
Awesome.
how kind of things work out there, which is I found it cool how you said just there you got cut by Quinte, went to Peterborough, and now it's come kind of full circle where you're an incredible goalie for Quinte, helping them this season, which is insane. And I mean, it's just remarkable watching you as a goaltender too. I notice being at the Silver Stick, a lot of the different goalies have little things they do, whether it be before the game or in the game. Like some goalies like to kind of go in between plays, they'll go kind of by the boards and give it a tap or something, or just go for a little skate. So the goalies kind of have a reputation sometimes for being a bit different than other players. I mean, generally different mental and physical routines. Would you say you got any superstitions, or what kind of does your routine look like as a goaltender?
I definitely am superstitious. At home, I tape my stick at the same time before games. I tape it the same way, wax it the same way. I do the same stretches I've been doing since I've been a goalie. I listen to the same music. I shower at the same time for a game. I eat the same meal before a game, and then at the rink, I just like to talk with the boys and then do the same stretches. And then like in the game, I'll like, there's a couple, like I'll do like the same like movements in the crease and stuff. And then every so often I'll go for a skate, and I only go on like the right side. And then if we score, I'll skate around the right side and the left side. And yeah.
That's sick. I like those little intricacies. It gives us a little insight into the mind of a goalie there, and kind of what you like to do in that aspect, which is kind of it's pretty cool because every goalie likes to do different things. Some goalies, I like how you said you kind of like to talk with the boys and stuff, because some goalies kind of just want to be in their own, while other goalies like yourself would go and talk to the boys as well, which I find pretty awesome. And you mentioned their kind of in-game aspects. So if we jump into your game a bit, if you had 3 words to kind of describe yourself and your strengths as a goaltender, what would they be and why?
First one would probably be like, I'd like to think I'm mentally strong. Like if I give up a bad goal, it doesn't bother me at all. And like during the game, I won't think at all. I'll just stop the puck. That's it. And the second one is probably like confidence. I play with a lot of confidence. I like to think I have this like kind of swagger, maybe something like Andrei Vasilevsky or something.
Nice.
And then the third one would be just like my compete, and like I love to battle. I'll do anything to win. I'll do anything to stop the puck.
Those are incredible words. Especially, I love that compete word there at the end. I remember watching it at the Silver Stick. That was the first time at the Silver Stick I got to see Quinte. And both games that I saw Quinte play, you actually started. So it's like the compete that you had when there's like screens in front of you or there's traffic in front. I could see the battle and the work you were putting in to try to, battle through the screen and try to spot the puck and all that. And I also want to point out another aspect to anyone who maybe hasn't seen you play. You also catch right-handed. So you're the southpaw goalie. Do you find that kind of gives you any kind of little advantages sometimes on the ice there?
Kind of depends. Like I know some players will like say, "Oh, I only shoot blocker side," and then if they're shooting on me, that'd be my glove. So I wouldn't say there's any like huge advantages for me. I just think it like maybe gets in the player's head sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes I guess maybe sometimes like if we were talking about it before, where some guys if they don't get their head up sometimes and they don't play you as much. They'll go like you mentioned there. I think they'll shoot blocker side, and that's just pop it right in the glove for you there, which is a nice save. And I know Ryan loves watching you make those big saves, eh, Ryan?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like you're definitely I mean, if not my favorite, one of my favorite goalies in the draft. And you mentioned Vasilevsky. That was interesting. Like Vasilevsky, he's like obviously on fire. He's I mean, Kucherov thinks he's the best goalie in the NHL, but like in terms of like goalies in the NHL, like is Vazzy the guy, or like is there any other goalies in the NHL you model your game after?
I'd say there's a mixture between two, and then one of them is obviously Vasilevsky.
Yeah.
I like the way he plays. He has that swagger, like I talked about before, and then just his all-around game. He's super quick. He reads the plays well. And my second one's probably Tuukka Rask. He's very technical. Very technical. He's really smooth. He's very smart, and yeah.
Yeah, those are good ones for you. Like very calm, like poised goalies. That's what I see in your game. Like you're very calm, very poised, very sure of yourself. It's like there's no panic. Like even in situations where like the puck kind of, I don't know, like it could be kind of in a bad situation for you. Like it could squirt out wherever. Like you seem to kind of just keep your cool. And I see that in Tuukka Rask and Vasilevsky, like very cool, calm goalies. I think that's really important and like a huge part of being a goalie. But speaking of cool and calm and whatever, is there anyone like you think in the NHL that might scare you a bit? Like anyone that, like if they were coming in on a breakaway, you might be like a little bit rattled. Like who would be the scariest guy in the NHL, let's say, to take a shootout attempt on?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be scared, but I'd definitely be aware of these two guys. The first one, probably like McDavid. He uses his speed well, and he can change the angle on the shot, and he uses like lots of like little flips. Like his shot can be hard to read sometimes. And the second one would probably be someone like Kucherov, and like he uses a lot of hesitation and fakes, and he's pretty like calm, I guess, with the puck, and he knows how to put it in back in the net, I guess.
Oh, honestly, like when I was thinking about this question, like every time we ask this one, and we love to ask this one to goalies, Connor? Like we always expect McDavid, right? But that Kucherov answer is really good too, because it's just that. I mean, is he gonna like outweight you? Is he gonna like Kucherov? He's got that poise and that calmness, and he's a tough one on a breakaway as well. The other one's usually Oshie, but I definitely see Kucherov and McDavid. Connor?
Oh, well, TJ Sochi's probably an obvious one after
Yeah.
his Olympic stuff that he went on there. But Kucherov, I mean, he's just so deceptive. I mean, we saw it with like that the Kucherov move where he just kind of slides the puck 5-hole, which can't be fun for a goalie to kind of experience that. But it's pretty unreal getting those names, and obviously McDavid's not fun to face regardless at any point. But we'll jump into hockey now. Outside of hockey, rather, outside of the NHL and hockey. Do you have a favorite professional sport league? Any other sports that you kind of like enjoy to watch outside of hockey there?
Yeah, definitely. I like watching UFC and MMA. I'm a big Conor McGregor guy. I've been watching him for a while. Yeah, I watch all his fights and stuff, and then I also like to keep updated in like each weight division, weight class, things like that. And then for playing, I have a dirt bike, and so that's like motocross. And where I live, there's like lots of trails and tracks that I can ride with my brother and my friends. And then in the summer, I like playing golf with my buddies.
Nice. How's your first off? How's your golf game look? How's your golf game?
Definitely needs some work.
Yeah, I'm in that same club. Definitely need some work in that. Also, it's not an easy game. I gotta say, I think I end up in the sand traps more often than I end up on the fairway sometimes.
Well, golf is hard. Like it's like the more you play, the better you get at it. Like I swear to God, this is so weird to say, but like when I was 14 years old, I was better at golf. Like I think 14-year-old me could beat me now in a match, just because I was playing so much golf back then. I didn't have a job in the summer. Like, you need to play a lot to be good, right, Connor?
No, for sure. And I mean UFC too. I love the
Yeah.
McGregor one too, especially. What did you think of that? The last fight he had. I mean, he broke the foot there. What did you think?
Yeah, definitely a little bit heartbroken. He's definitely one of my idols for sure. Like he also like has swagger, and I like try to like see what he does and kind of like translate it into hockey, things like that. And then he's on a little bit of slump right now, but we'll see.
What do you think? Do you think the bounce back? Think he'll have that bounce back kind of fight? Think he'll come back better?
I hope so. I really do hope so.
I hope so too. Like, I mean, he's just like the most electric, most entertaining fighter. Like, I mean, I even like that promotion he had with Floyd Mayweather back a while back. That was fun stuff. He's the most he's so much fun, right? The fight game. Let's face it, it's like it's part promotion, part talent, part personality, part everything else, and we all want McGregor to come back strong. Well, maybe not everybody, but I'm in your boat there. I'd love to see McGregor come back and dominate for sure.
He's got that tiger on his chest too, which kind of which leads me into the last question we got here. A fun one that we'd like to ask guys in the past is, if you could transform into any animal for 24 hours, what animal would you choose?
I'd probably pick something like a shark. Like no one really messes with a shark. I guess you could say like they're king of the ocean. I guess, I don't know. And then like just to explore the ocean and see what's really down there. And yeah.
Nice. That's a pretty good pick. Sharks,
That's a good one.
One of the apex predators in the ocean there, and they definitely, you don't mess with them. Just like you don't mess with you guys on the ice there in Quinte. So great kind of finish there. Provided me a great line there. So just to wrap up here, we really appreciate you coming on, Mike. I mean, just it was incredible to watch you at the Silver Stick, watch you this season, and just I know we'll get to watch you so much more. So best of luck in the rest of the season with Quinte. Best of luck on the road to the OMHAs, and best of luck at the OHL Cup, and best of luck at the OHL Draft.
Thank you.
All right, and we're back from our interview with Mike McIvor. Unbelievable interview, great person, great kid. Awesome to get a chance to talk to him on the pod. And I mean, he's had a heck of a year so far. I mean, he was a second-team All-Star on that draft day, and that draft day tournament with the team ETA. He got the win over team GTA in the semifinal. Didn't get to start in the final, but he was unbelievable there. Like, we both really love watching him there. I mean, London tournament, he got shut out in the final. Had a great tournament there. This tournament, he only let in 1 goal. Just an unbelievable goalie. And like you mentioned, he's a southpaw. We love that. I don't know, like, it could throw guys off when they're coming in and they expect the glove to be on the other hand. But like, Mike is just, he's so athletic. I think that's kind of where it starts with him. Incredibly athletic player, moves well side to side, really, really well. Like, when he sprawls, like, and puts his pads out, like, you have to get the puck up. Like, you're not going to beat him on a clean beak and beat him with the pad. Like, he covers that bottom part of the net exceptionally well. And the athleticism, the lateral movement, the quickness, quick reactionary saves and reflexes. It's just unbelievable, eh?
Oh, it's unreal. And as he talked about when we were talking about kind of how he would describe his game as a goaltender, to your point there, his compete in the crease is unreal. I brought it up there where he was just watching him kind of battle through screens and stuff. It's just he's moving as much as possible. He's trying to find that puck and working, using his athleticism to kind of move back and forth and just follow that puck really quickly and effectively. And as people come down, one thing I noticed is a lot of the time when they're coming down on him, especially, is he takes an angle with his pads and his equipment where it closes the puck off necessarily. Like if they're going to lift the puck, to your point, you got to lift the puck up. When some guys would lift the puck kind of closer to him, he'd use his glove and he wouldn't keep it back. He'd kind of move it forward, so it kind of closes the angle off on it, which is a little thing that I seen Jonathan Quick, a goaltender from the Kings, do a lot back in his, I guess, prime now, where he would kind of similar, really athletic couple goaltenders there. He do so well at kind of closing off the angles with the puck there, not making it easier for guys to, if they're trying to get it up, it's not easy to get it up because they block it so quickly at that respect. But he's also just a phenomenal, like, just to compete, the vision, the quickness, the reactionary saves to be able to make that with that glove. It's just phenomenal. And I love the little aspect that he brought up, the little story he brought up, how he actually didn't start as a goaltender. He was a forward, which I think only adds to the intrigue. And
AAA forward.
Yeah, exactly. It only adds to what you love about this goaltender, because he's got that athleticism, that natural athleticism already in him, where as soon as he switched to goaltender, he can skate, he can do that. So honestly, because his puck handling is also probably benefited from that ability to play out of the crease as well.
Yeah, and he's super calm and poised. So like that poise, that calmness, like he's able to, like, slows the game down. He doesn't panic, and that's so huge for a goalie. Like at the next level, like, it's so easy to see goalies get rattled, and like the puck could be squirting around it, like in his crease area, and like he'll be moving quick and reacting to it and this and that, but like he's not swimming, he's not scrambling, he's not like panicking. You can tell his movements are very controlled, and he plays the puck well. Like, he really does. Like I mean, like, they rip it around, he's able to stop it, he's able to pass it. I mean, at the OMHA showcase, he got player of the game. This was just this past weekend. This was after the Silver Stick. He's player of the game. He's got a shutout and an assist. He ripped one up, like, off the glass. I don't know if, like, he ended up getting credit for it, but I just noticed this because I was watching. He ripped one off the glass and went up. So they got a goal. Unbelievable player. And yeah, like, just it's awesome to watch him. And I actually really like that point you made about how, like, because before I said, well, he sprawls and you can't deke him clean and get it. You have to get it over the pad. He has also got the arm there. And I think a perfect example of that is on our Instagram. The one save we showed, the player came in with speed, made a nice move, and Mike got over, kind of had the pad there, had the arm there, and made that stop. So we got that highlight up there on our Instagram, which was awesome. Just an unbelievable goalie, and yeah, I think he's gonna be like a really, really good player, especially at the next level, and like for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and it's funny how these Quinte teams, man. Corbin Voteri, that Opal.
Yeah.
Wasn't he a
I loved
southpaw too?
Gloria.
Wasn't I swear he was a southpaw too, Voteri.
I can't remember actually. I can't remember. He was my number one goalie that year though. But
They just pump those goalies out, eh? Just
yeah.
they
Quinte's a heck of a program. Like, let's face it. Like out east, they've got a lot of advantages with that Belleville Sens. The Belleville Sens thing is right there. So those guys, they're working with their strength and conditioning coach there with Belleville, and they're working with that Belleville. I think they've been really good to Quinte Red Devils, and it's led to a lot of success for Quinte.
Oh gosh, the only thing I wish they would do is just come closer to Toronto more often, so I could go see them some more.
Yeah,
with me so far, but my goodness, what a program they have, and the goaltending, kind of the amazing goaltending just continue with Mike McIvor. No, it's just an unbelievable goaltending tandem in general they have.
Yeah, they are.
With him and McInnes, so it's honestly just phenomenal to get to talk to Mike. It was great talking to him. I loved watching him play. To your point, I loved the point you made, especially about how poised he is in the crease as well. So honestly, I don't think we could say much better, and I think with that, on that note, honestly, it's a great time to wrap part 1 of our Silver Stick series up here, Ryan. So for our audience members, whether you're listening on the podcast on a podcast platform or watching us on YouTube, don't forget this is part 1 of the Silver Stick. We will be releasing a part 2 Silver Stick with 4 more interviews coming up. So be sure to check that one out when it does come out. We will be talking about more players we maybe didn't mention in this episode and more interviews in there. So definitely check that one out. But until then, be sure to go check us out. Go follow us on all our social media pages, Instagram, Twitter, at the U16pod. Feel free to send a message inquiry to the Gmail the U16pod at gmail.com. There you go. Feel free to follow myself or Ryan. We got plenty of updates coming. Myself at CWilliams_3D4. You can follow Ryan at Ryan P. MacArthur. And don't forget, if you're listening on the whatever podcast platform you listen to, don't forget to download or like on there. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. Or if you want to leave a comment, feel free to comment there on the YouTube as well. But definitely like and subscribe. So until part 2 of the Silver Stick, we'll see you next time.
Yeah, click those buttons, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Show us some love, and yeah, take care, everybody.